Salute, 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 and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back over here to the Black. I like to wait until everyone else has had their say to see if people are going to go ahead and address things and get things out of the way and state the facts without sugarcoating things, okay? And I've seen a couple of responses from a number of people in a number of different spaces, in a number of different platforms. And I'm going to be quite blunt and frank with what I'm about to say here. I haven't seen any of them address what I'm going to address here tonight. I'm going to do it in a very professional manner because, see, a lesson has to be taught about these particular types of women, okay? Not going to blanket all women. We're not going to do that. I do not speak in absolutes on this channel regarding anyone or anything. I like to be very specific when I address an issue or a problem, okay? So we're going to be addressing the particular type of women that think like Miss Ebony K. Williams. I know you've all seen it by now. It's been making the rounds. And see, I like to address your, direct your attention to the screen here. The most disrespected person in America is the masculine black man. And we're going to break down some facts why. Because, see, family, let me tell you something. As I stated, I waited and watched to see if a number of people were going to go ahead and address certain things and, you know, bring her to task all the way around on like the main reason why what she said was not only ignorant, but disrespectful. They kind of skipped over that because a lot of times when you are emotionally charged and you respond to certain things, you leave out the main heart of the matter. So I'm going to take care of that over here tonight because, see, family, let me tell you something. Pay close attention when brothers that are worth a damn. Let me clear that up. Because the homosexuals, we not talking to y'all. Y'all the ones that are comfortable living off of women, okay, letting the women pay your bills and stuff like that. But to the brothers that actually have something going on about themselves, the upwardly mobile brothers, the successful established brothers, here's the thing that we've been trying to tell you, okay? And this is true really across all races of men, but we particularly dealing with the black community here tonight. That's my main concern. Ladies, education is important. Get your education, do everything you can do. Hopefully you will go to school and get a degree that's going to lead to you making some real money instead of a liberal arts degree where there's no money to be made in that unless you have specific connections arranged beforehand. But men do not care about your degrees. We don't care about your careers, especially those of us that are already established. And that is true not only from white collar brothers and entrepreneurs, okay, which is the category that I will fall into. It is also true of the blue collar brothers. See, I'm not a blue collar brother, but I have relatives that are, I have friends that are. And see, a lot of times when women like her, because we're going to be very specific, when women like her tend to take the attitude that she took with certain things in the conversation, a lot of people seem to think that the blue collar brothers don't have a tolerance limit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the brass tacks of the issue tonight, let me go ahead and make this opening statement. And I haven't heard anybody else say this yet. If you all have heard anybody else say it, feel free to let me know. But Ebony K. Williams, let me say this directly to you. Everybody's tap danced around the issue. Everybody's talked about the obvious in the clips and you doubling down on it. But if I'm not the first, I'm going to be one of the first to say it on behalf of our blue collar brothers who are actually the engines that keep this country running. Ebony, you, nor women who think like you, qualify for blue collar men of any position. I'm going to say it one more time because I haven't heard anybody say it this way. So I'm going to double down on my statement. Let me get closer to this microphone. Ebony K. Williams, you do not qualify for a blue-collar brother of any profession whatsoever. None. And we're going to make it clear why, ladies and gentlemen, because, see, when I make certain statements like that, you know what I like to do on my platform. I like to provide the evidence of why. So we're going to review this case of Miss Williams and several other women that tend to have her mindset. And we're going to do it from a common sense perspective because, see, no matter what you do in this country, you got to earn a living, okay? You got bills to pay. You got to put food on the table, keep a roof over your head, etc., etc. Of course you do. However, this notion amongst women like her, that one, don't really pay attention to numbers and statistics, because we're going to get into some of that here tonight too, since we know that people like her have all the sense of the world they claim, but they don't like math. Everybody is not going to be no high six-figure or multi-millionaire earner. There's not a lot of brothers, especially in the black community, just running around like that, okay? However, does that mean that just because you don't hit that mark, that you're not a good brother or you're not able to sustain and take care of a family? No, the hell it doesn't. We're going to break this down here tonight, family, from the A-road to the zero, like my uncle says. But before we get into this, as usual, I like to ask my audience before I greet all of you, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me loud and clear over here, if there's any issues, because as of late, you've seen when I get to cooking over here, man, and I get to dropping these facts, PewTube tries to mess with the channel. As the last broadcast you saw, boy, I pissed iHeartRadio off. Oh, they tried a little fraudulent copyright. And before we even get started, fair use, we will be saying that several times. Okay, good. I see my brother, Project Leroy, Nightfall Drop, everybody saying audio coming in crisp. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to be going ahead and get the fair use disclaimer out of the way. So before we get underway here, let me greet my esteemed audience that I see in here. I see T-Step in here. Not sure if that's a brother or sister, but welcome. Michael Williams, what's going on? Everything's good on my end, brother. Salute to Patricia Jenkins, Captain PY2 in here. Back to the basics. I see you, good sister. GB King Harris in the building. Patricia Slade in here. Buzzer Cam H1, what's going on with your family? Project Leroy on deck. Just Jerry Curls. All right. Hey, that's a hell of a name, brother. Welcome over here to the Black Ocean. Only Pamela's Way. I see you, sister. By James Lewis. Welcome. Okay. Nightfall dropping here. My good brother CRU Reality, the computer maker and the beat maker. Check him out over there. FT Hawkins. I see you. Salute to you and everybody that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. So, family, here's the deal. We're going to do this here tonight. It's not going to be done from a juvenile point of view. It's not going to be done from a mocking point of view completely, because we're going to crack some jokes now. You know we're going to do that. But primarily, this is going to be a teaching tool for black men so that you know what to disqualify. Because, see, I've heard a lot of the brothers in their responses to this, they were very angry. I'm here to tell you to be the opposite. Oh, no. Do not be angry. Do not be angry, especially if you're a blue-collar brother. Let me tell you what you need to be. Consider this, and I'm going to make the case for you tonight. Be thankful, because, see, now, today, it's easier than ever to disqualify the women that are not worth what you are capable of as a man. Because, see, as men, we bring more to the table than our damn income. We bring life experience, okay? We bring protection, problem-solving ability, okay? We bring a clear, rational head, all right? We bring several things to the table besides just money. Yes, you got to have financial resources, but that is not the only component that makes you a man. You got plenty of men out there that have vast financial resources, but they're some of the biggest cowards and most incompetent people on the planet, okay? So we're gonna further break down what goes into manhood and womanhood here tonight. And for the sisters, especially the young ones that aren't hard-headed yet, that actually can open up your ears and listen, this is going to be a lesson to you on what you better not become. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to prove it here tonight. What we're about to review, Ebony, I'm talking to you directly again. Not only are the men that you want that are in your tax bracket and above going to avoid you like the plague after what you just did, the blue-collar brothers, even if you've dropped down and decided to try to give one of them a chance, you radioactive toxic waste to these brothers. See, a lot of these heifers like this, they claim to have all this sense of these degrees and these careers. They really don't understand the way men think. Let me tell you something. Whether we're white collar, blue collar, entrepreneur, whatever, we have one uniform mindset when it comes to being respected. You take respect out the equation, you may as well be invisible to us. I don't care how good you look. And see, that's another part of the problem today too. You got too many people today that because, let me be blunt with this, because see, this is on the men's part. You got too many males that haven't graduated into manhood today that think just because a woman has a certain bit of looks about herself, she's supposed to get away with holy murder. Nah, let me tell you something. Those of us that have worked very hard to get where we at, okay, no matter whether it's blue collar or whatever the case, we don't put up with that bullshit because we don't have to, okay? You subtract respect, then you get the exit out of our lives, okay? So if you're a young black man, don't you ever put up with some of this stuff we about to review here tonight. So family, let's go ahead and get started, right? Because see, I want to show you something. Before we even get cooking, let me show you something. Take a look at your screen. Oh yeah, see in the initial stages when she ran off at the mouth, see, this is why I'm going to call her a coward as well. She put that Twitter on protected status and shut it down for a minute. Now, I don't know if it's back up because I don't follow the heifer like that. I despise creatures like her because, in my opinion, when you show yourself to have that type of attitude, you really erase your womanhood. We're going to get into that tonight, too. She put them little tweets on protected status and shut it down. See, if you really a boss chick, like a lot of them in her category like to claim, you stand on what you say. Don't run from it. What you hiding for? See, but that goes to prove something with the women that think like her, because I'm going to be very specific here tonight. They always run from accountability. Accountability is like sunlight to a vampire. Accountability. Oh, they shrivel up and die, boy. They can't stand any kind of accountability. Anybody hold their feet to the fire. So I just want to show you how bad this actually got if y'all wasn't paying attention to it. Oh, man, listen. Let me tell you. People like her, boy, they have to learn the hard way all the time because, see, the sad part about this is I really don't take any delight into what I'm about to point out here tonight because I really want to see all our sisters win out here, especially those that say they want, you know, good men and husbands. But see, we're going to show you why she don't qualify for white collar, blue collar, no collar. We're going to break it down. So with that said, family, buckle your seatbelts. Some hit dogs gonna holler. Again, if it don't apply to you, let it alone. Because if I strike a nerve tonight, then it's not my fault. Don't blame me. What you better do is when you get off the air listening to me, you better go look in that mirror and see some stuff you need to fix. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get underway analyzing this. We shall be stopping it as need be. Hold on to your horses, because like I said, man, we finna piss some people off over here tonight.
Know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak a need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build. When some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
So now, already, let me go ahead and cut straight into what she was talking about. Speaking about, you know, the men that are available to women like her and the like. See, this is what Miss Williams misses. You and your attitude and the choices and decisions that you make determine what type of access to which men you will have available to you. I'm going to say it again. Your attitude, how you conduct yourself as a woman, and the choices that you make are what will determine which men you will have access to, okay? And which men will even look your way and give you a second thought as far as being in anything serious. See, this little old bird brain helper fit here, and look at that face, because she looked like a little old bird brain dumbass. She do. I got to tell it like it is, man. She is absolutely clueless. And you know what the ironic running joke is about women like her? They tend to think because she's an attorney, okay? Let's get that out of the way. She's an attorney. She's gone to college. She's making money, and she's successful at what she does. To my notion, you know, like I said, I'm not familiar with her legal case work, but she is a well-known attorney, okay? Making good money. What she doesn't understand is, and this is the thing we've been trying to beat into y'all's heads, and it's become a running joke because women like this just don't get it. You think that because you got that career that now, hey, I'm up here with these guys that's making similar money or more than me, surely they want me. No, they don't. See, what we've been trying to tell you is when you go into fields, ladies, that require you to be more masculine to be successful, because let's be clear, in order for her to be a good attorney, that is a male-dominated environment. You arguing all the time, and that's the other red flag. Let me tell you something. Can't tell y'all what to do, But young men, you better pay attention to bear me witness. There are several careers that some of these women go into. You better think twice before you start trying to deal with them seriously. And a lawyer is one of them. Think about it. They are trained to argue. I'm going to say this like it is. I don't care who I offend or who I piss off. One of the worst things that women have trouble doing in certain career fields like that, they cannot compartmentalize that and leave it at the job. They think they're supposed to bring that home into a relationship. And let me tell you something. Why I said that she doesn't qualify for a blue collar guy. You trained to argue, and you think you're going to come home to a guy with a blue-collar job and you're going to be arguing back and forth with him? Even if you out-earn him, a brother that's really worth his balls ain't finna put up with that. I done told y'all many times, there's two places I'm not finna go with a woman, back and forth. I don't care what your career or degree is. No, I'm not going them two places with you. I have no interest in doing it. Because, see, when you start doing that, and see, a lot of brothers have to be trained not to do this. When you start going back and forth with a woman over something trivial, we ain't talking about major. She brings you down to her level. You may as well be another woman. And let me tell you, after that, the respect factor goes out the window. See, this is what nobody's going to tell her. Other women are not going to say what I'm going to say to her as a man, especially where I'm coming from. Because you see, again, I hold a high amount of respect for blue collar brothers, even though I'm far removed from one. I know who does most of the hard work in this country that keep things going. See, these little unappreciative helpers like this, they don't understand who's keeping these power grids maintained. Who the truckers out there, man. Who the guys that's working on the construction on the road, building these buildings. You know what I'm saying? The guys that pretty much do every industrial job that it takes to keep this nation running. See, I'm going to show y'all, though, because a lot of y'all probably seen this, but we're going to review how she doubled down on it as well. But I just wanted to get that part out the way. And I want y'all to listen to the sister Iyanla, because to her credit, she was trying to talk some sense into her, but see, I got to go here with this. This is going to be very ugly to some, but I have to say it like it needs to be said. The problem with women like EbonyKWilliams, and we're going to prove it, the problem with women like her, when she ends up getting around the guys that she's interested in and they engage in whatever type of relationship they're going to have, let's call it what it is, a situationship, because ain't nobody trying to marry her, okay? She gets laid on top of like a mattress, and she thinks, oh, if I slept with a guy that's, high six-figure earner or a million plus earner, this is my new value. No, it's not. So many women get that shit misconstrued. Oh, listen, let me tell you something. Just because you hop on some millionaire salon, that does not mean that that's what your value is as a woman now. See, that's what women like her get it wrong, because they little friend circles, they judge success by if you snag a guy and you're able to be intimate with him. That don't mean nothing. That's easy for a woman to do. Think about it. See, I'm going to make it make sense. I'm going to piss people out tonight, but you ain't going to be able to say that it doesn't make sense. It's easy for a woman to go out and get some sex, man. That ain't nothing. The trump card is, okay, can you get some of these guys that's laying on top of you, Miss Mattress or K. Williams, because that's what I'm going to call Miss Mattress K. Williams. Can you get some of these guys that's laying on top of you to say, hey, you know what? I changed my mind about our relationship status. Yeah, it's cool and fun, but I want you around all the time. Let me give you my last name. Let me commit to you and tie my resources to you. Oh, yeah. I'm finna tell you, boy. I'm finna piss them off tonight. I'm just getting started. If you think this is bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. But we gonna do it respectfully, like they say. Oh, yeah. Somebody got to clean this up the right way, man. But I'm gonna digress for now, and I'm gonna let her continue talking, because, see, like I said, we're gonna thoroughly dissect this, and it's gonna be a lot for everybody that want to learn something over here tonight. Let's let it continue.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, If he treated me well, I would date a bunch.
So now, you heard Iyanla try to talk some sense into that little old pea brain heifer. And if you paid attention to how she was looking while Iyanla was talking to her, fellas, bear me witness in the chat room, and young men, you better pay attention to this because you're going to learn something about how to read body language with these particular types of women like her. She was looking straight past Iyanla like, yeah, whatever, I'm not trying to hear what you say. Well, see, let me say something about what she said. The particular statement of, if he on the bus, I would date him. See, this is a very silly woman because if you're in a state of, let's go here with it. If you in her age range, your prime years are behind you because they are for her. Her prime years are behind her. They are not coming back. She is not in her prime. Your time to land the guy in the high six figures, multi-millionaire earning status was when you were in your 20s and early 30s. You're not there no more. You're not there no more. Mattress K. Williams, you're not. So now, if you were a smart woman and you understood the value of a man beyond money, you would be saying, you know what? Okay, I see where I am, not in my prime no more, but I do want a husband. I want a protector and a provider. Even if I may out-earn him, I still need this man for the other things that I cannot provide for myself with my money. See, that's what a smart woman would do. That's what a smart woman would do. See, somebody has to say this like that because, see, too many of you out there with these degrees and these careers that you have, you tend to think because you making the type of money that men make in the field, that that's all you need. Bottom line, and I'm going to prove it. The big difference between those men making that money and you making the money is in the event of a disaster. Think about it. The Texas winter freeze, anybody? Natural disaster, freezing cold, power go out. You got to go out here and battle people for resources. You can't sit here and tell me that in the event of any situation like that, that most women that have men are like, thank God I have my husband, my baby daddy, boyfriend, whatever your situation may be, versus the women that don't have nobody. Now you got to go out here in the middle of this where they claiming that it's fuel shortage and you got to be trying to battle at the pumps to get a full tank of gas, groceries or whatever. With the women that got some sense, that have men, they're like, hey, let me let my husband or whoever go out there and handle that. See, that's what you're not thinking about, Ebony. Your money can't buy that kind of protection from you. Your money cannot buy the wisdom and the discernment and the calm decision-making and life experience that a man can bring to the table when you're in a reckless impulse mode. You see what I'm saying? Again, we're making distinctions between the homosexuals versus the established men that are qualified to lead in a marriage or a relationship. You see what I'm saying? See, when you just whittle a man down to money, you miss the point of what we're supposed to do. And see, let me further thread this needle. Women like her don't even look around at the world here in this country, the world in general. All this shit you use, men built this with our hands. We built this. Do you have some women in the professions that build up and run this nation? You have a handful, but the greater majority would prefer not to do that kind of work. Let me tell you something right now. Ladies, go ahead and prove me a liar if most of you in here would love to go work on an oil rig, huh? How many of you want to be power line workers? How many of you want to be, sanitation workers riding on a trash truck, huh? How many of you want to actually go out into some sewers? How many of you want to go out there and get on some crab boats, huh? How many of you want to go ahead and do that kind of dirty, dangerous, hard work that is responsible? Construction work, 16 plus hour days out there on the hot roadways, man. Dangerous job at that. How many of y'all want to do that? Or would you prefer to have a man that handles that and you say, hey, you know what? I work, but it's optional. I don't have to be at this job. I got a dude to take care of all these bills for me. You see what I'm saying? See, that's the part nobody's saying to her, man. I hadn't heard nobody really break it down like that. But she had more to tell us about, I would date the bus driver, he owned the company. See, the silly thing about women like this, and rest his soul, no disrespect to him, but this six-figure stuff started when Kevin Samuels started throwing that term around. Women, you better understand that there are brothers in the blue-collar fields that actually make six figures plus. And they don't necessarily have to own a damn company to do it. But see, again, I don't fault the innocent women for not knowing that, because in general, and I have to speak in general, ladies, in general, most women don't pay attention to significant numbers like that. All they care about is the results, okay? Sometimes if you stop to do your research, look at the labor or Bureau of Labor Statistics, start doing the research on some of these jobs to see what these guys make before you turn your damn nose up at them. Because see, let me tell you something. Ebony, for all her degrees that she may have in her little career, I'm warning the younger sisters on what not to become. Because see, now that she's displayed that before the whole world, she is permanent mattress status. Even amongst the guys that find her somewhere to track. Because I'm going to be honest with you, she don't do nothing for me. She really don't. This woman here, man, she's not attractive like that to me now. To me, some of y'all might find her something to jump over the table for, not me. She's an average chick to me because the hair that y'all know, the Miss Potato Head package, I done covered that plenty of times. I'm not interested in women like that. Not to mention your nasty attitude, and then you think that you're gonna come on board my ship and then you're gonna buck against my throat. Oh no, not having that. I'm not putting up with it, and nor are most brothers that are established like myself going to put up with it, okay? But see, she wasn't done yet. Because see, one of the problems about little bird brain women like her, they don't know when to shut up. Oh, sometimes when you put your foot in your mouth, one of the best and most humble things men and women can do is say, you know what? Let me just sit back for a minute, listen to what my people are saying. Let me rethink some things. Maybe I need to rephrase it a different way. Maybe I need to be humble about what I said. Oh, no. And see, I'm gonna warn you about something, young ladies. This right here, what you're looking at, because this was a train wreck on her part. This is what happens when a proud, stubborn woman is out from under the leadership and management of a man that's qualified to do that. They start sounding like this, and they just keep going further and further, digging a hole. When if you got a competent man on your side, and let me give credit what credit is due, a good woman will do this for a man that's going too far in something and putting his foot in the mouth, okay? A good man in this case would have said, hey, babe, wait. Don't do this. Let's rethink this. Look at how your people are responding to you, who you say you have love for. We're going to play this double down response that she had, and I'm going to show you how it got real disrespectful with what she was saying. Because, see, she didn't have sense enough to quit while she was ahead, and then she started gaslighting about it. See, this right here, Ebony, you don't know it yet, or maybe she does, but you're going to find out that what you just did put you right there next to Vivica Fox. You may well go make friends with her because, see, before I let it play, while she was running her mouth and thumbing her nose at, she would only date the bus driver, he owned the company. Baby, you don't understand that you got some strikes against you. And I ain't even talking about just Zaddy. Heifer, you was on Real Housewives of New York. Do you, man, she was on Real Housewives of New York. Let me tell y'all something, how brothers look at women on them shows. You may as well be the equivalent of a damn barnacle or a parasite. And let me explain to you why brothers see you that way. See, at least with men, most men, if we're through with a woman and we don't want nothing else to do with her, that divorce is finalized, we leave them alone and go on about our lives. Every one of these housewives heifers up there, and see, nobody probably said this before, but I'm going to say it. Every one of them housewives heifers on all them different iterations of that show, that garbage, I do not watch that crap, it's brain rot. If you really can't stand your dude and you're done with it, what you keeping his last name for? See, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If I was married to one of them heifers, no, I'll be like, I'm no longer your husband. You don't get to keep my last name and keep eating off me like a damn parasite. You say you a boss bitch? Go out there and make money off your name. Leave my name the fuck alone. You're not worthy of carrying my last name anymore. See, guys that are worth a damn, let me make sure I'm clear. Guys that are worth a damn don't look at none of them chicks on the housewife show like, yeah, boy, I sure would like to get that. Oh, you a bottom feeder. You little parasite, you. Yeah, so that's the other strike against her besides the Zaddy. But hey, you know what? I don't know nothing though. She's gonna educate us on why what she said made so much sense. So with further ado, I'm gonna be quiet and let Miss Mattress K. Williams enlighten us all over here. Let's let her talk.
Out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of black men when I said what I said.
No, you were not. See, this is the other thing that men find despicable about women like her. Keyword, women like her. You go and put your foot in your mouth. You were clearly out of line with what you said. But instead of you taking accountability and ownership for that, you're going to flip it back around as if all of us were just too stupid to understand what you were saying. It's our fault. See, here's the further failure in her life that she doesn't realize. And it's coming. When she hit them 50s, that's when it's finally going to hit rock bottom. The common denominator in all her failed situationships, because she has not had a successful marriage to my knowledge, the common denominator in her failed situationships is her. And it's like that for most women with her nasty mindset, okay? And see, here's the problem. She still don't get that. We understood that you're saying that, well, a bus owner of a company is a better thing to attain to. The problem is, Ebony, you don't get that there's nothing wrong with the bus driver either. Her mother was a bus driver, okay? She said that. She said as much and is going to say as much. So the thing is, this is where a lot of sisters fuck up that think like her. If you got a dude that's gainfully employed in this economy, I don't care what color his work is, and he's steady building and working, and you need a man, because see, that's the other thing. Avoid these heifers that's running around talking about, I just want a man. Okay, you go somewhere else. You brothers, you deal with the women that say they need you and ain't too proud to let you know that. Now, there's a trade-off to that, because I want to be responsible. If that woman does tell you, hey, look, I need you, let's make this work, then that puts the pressure on you. You better be, and damn sure be in position to be a complete protector and provider, okay? Barring something like that's beyond your control, like you getting hurt or something like that. See, if that woman's going to pour that much faith and trust into you and follow your leadership and program, you got to be willing and able to fit that part, okay? So I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. Because, see, I'm not going to leave no stone unturned. Ain't nobody going to be able to remix this or take my words out of context when this broadcast is over tonight. And see, with her situation, this is where a lot of sisters like her lose out. Instead of you getting with that man knowing that you need one and working your way up and motivating him and encouraging him to be a owner of a bus company or start another business or whatever, you don't want to do that. He ain't good enough, okay? There's plenty of helpers like her right now in bad situations because they got that type of attitude. You see what I'm saying? And see, let me tell you something, man. The other sad thing about it is some of them will actually have brothers that will get up, go to work every day, take care of everything. But because they got goofy friends in their ear that don't have a man at all, some of these helpers like her are stupid enough to listen to their friends. Oh, yeah, they'll throw that down the toilet. Throw it right down the toilet, man, and then not realize that they should be smart enough to know that them helpers are jealous of you because they don't have no man at all. I don't care what collar work he do. Some of them are actually that stupid. And see, you have to do this and break it down without sugarcoating and kissing the ass because you got a lot of women out here, sadly, that look up to women like her. It's a lot of women think that what she said was smart. This is what I posit to you women that actually think she said something she was cooking. I want you to just sit back and watch because as I've told you many times, time is the great revealer of all things. Watch and see if she ends up with a man that she's interested in, that's a high earner, that's going to take her off the market. She is done. Do you understand me? I don't think a lot of you that are cheering for Ebony K. Williams understand the climate and how things have changed with men. First of all, let's break this down before we let her continue here. You better start to look at how men, especially the younger generation, are looking at the institution of marriage itself. See, for a man to actually put his head up on a guillotine and say, hey, you know what? Especially when it's well-to-do and established. Hey, let me tie my name and all my hard work and everything I build up to your little wishy-washy ass, because I don't know if you're going to be here or not. Give you my last name, tie my finances to you, knowing that, hey, you could just get up one day and file no-fault divorce and don't want to do this and take half my shit. And then heaven help you if you got kids. Oh my God. So my point that I'm making is most men are already apprehensive about this shit because look at how the family court system is set up. And we're not talking about the deadbeat punks that know people's kids are dead and don't take care of them. And I feel like if you're a man and you know the children yours and you ain't taking care of them, yeah, they're supposed to child support, hit you with that child support, right? Because see, that's coming out of taxpayer pocket if you don't take care of your responsibility. But now for the brothers that'll stand up, because see, when you look at the numbers, they don't lie. It's not a whole bunch of men jumping out these marriages like that. And before anybody start that bullshit, all them women are not leaving them marriages because men are abusive and beating on them and et cetera, et cetera. We're going to get into that a little bit later, too, with some stats and statistics here. Because, see, we're going to speak the truth over here tonight. We finna make her look triple-coated, candy-flavored stupid over here in every shade of the rainbow tonight. But I've said enough for now. I'm going to let her get back to it, and we're going to finish analyzing this.
But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations.
Let me go ahead and stop her right here and deal with this bit of disrespect she said here. First of all, let's work backwards. Ebony, you and women like you. Hell, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get in trouble with this tonight. Let me go and just say women in general across the board. Let me explain something to you. Mattress K. Williams, you don't create a damn thing for a man. You don't. It is not my conjecture. It is not my opinion. Look at who the corporations make most of the money off of in all races of women. You are the biggest consumers in the nation. The corporations count on your impulse spending and your stupid, haughty attitudes, running around with these degrees. You come out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. See, I keep putting that, I keep mentioning that documentary that I have on this channel, The Corporation, White America's Real Government. You better go check that out. I keep mentioning it for a reason, because that breaks down how these corporations depend on the thought process of women without the anchor, which is a good man saying, whoa, just because we can buy this doesn't mean we should. Let's invest in money-making assets. Let's take on good debt, the kind that accrues money and economic income. And then when we build a cushion, we can splurge on a few things here or there within reason. See, without a stable man, most women don't know how to do that. Hence the corporations doing the Birdman hand rub. You look at all these Tiffany diamond commercials and all this other bullshit. They know that you can't just get a few pairs of shoes. You got to have a whole bunch of shoes, clothes, and shit you don't even wear. I'm talking about women like her now. I'm just breaking it down. See, we're gonna make it make sense. A good man thinks practically. He is a protection against reckless financial spending. Okay? That's what a good man does. See, when you whittle down us just to income and start looking at this job, that job, you miss the point of what we're supposed to do. But see, the happily married women out there, they appreciate men because they know everything that I'm saying is the truth. Okay? So now, when you let's go on back further to a disrespect rag she was doing here. It's condescending. Trying to gaslight people as if you were saying, okay, everybody that has an issue with what you said is expecting low expectations and it's cool with being average. Sister, most people in all races in this country are average earners. See, this is where math comes into play to whoop people's ass that claim to have degrees but don't exercise common sense. Most people in this country are average earners. Everybody ain't going to be a six-figure earner, and everybody damn sure ain't going to be a millionaire. But you know what you should be concerned about? If you had any common damn sense, you should be concerned about, does this man keep a job? Is he gainfully employed? Is he earning enough to at least make sure we got food on the table, the lights on? And is he working his way up? You see what I'm saying? See, it takes maturity to think that way. She lacks it. See, this is an example of a grown female that has not become a woman and never will. And she never will. Because, see, She's the type of person, her career dooms her. She gonna argue with you, and I'm gonna prove what I'm saying here in just a couple seconds. She gonna argue with you. You can't get her to see, like, hey, wait a minute. You should reconsider this. Do you really think that what you're saying actually makes sense? You can't do that. Because she gonna argue you down. It's in her nature and her profession, okay? So you can't impart wisdom to somebody that got their ears closed all the time. I'm gonna prove that here. Just trust me, I'm gonna prove it. So then when you look at what she's further saying here, she's basically trying to say, well, you know, your parents coddled you and you got C's and D's in school. No. See, this is basically the equivalent of when you're talking to one of these types of helpers and they pull out the attack on your sexuality, okay, or they start talking, you got a small dick or whatever. No, ma'am, no. This ain't got nothing to do with that. And see, let's go here with it. You actually do have some brothers and sisters that dropped out of high school and college that made it to multi-millionaire status. We can name several. I'm not advising that people do that, but let's be honest, the American education system is not all it's cracked up to be. And furthermore, when you look at most of the wealthiest people, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musk, okay, you go back to Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, whoever you want to name. Most of them, if they were in college, they dropped out. They did not get their wealth by staying in college. But see, a little bird brain bimbo like this, she's too stupid to actually look around and see how people actually made the real money in this country, particularly the dominant society. See, like I said, what I'm saying, no other woman is going to tell her, because I'm coming at it from a man's point of view over here this evening. But she got more disrespect she's going to give us, because see, this is the one right here that I bust. It was so disrespectful, it was funny. And again, brothers, if you just joined us over here, don't be angry at the Ebony K, the mattress K Williams, and the other women that think like her. Be thankful. We're in a time where they're disqualifying themselves in public. Because this helper right here, after she's done this, everybody finna move around. See, let me throw it to you like this, right? Let me tell you why I'm saying she's done amongst men that she would be interested in that is making a high amount of money. They've now put her in the same category of these helpers that just up and divorce their husbands for no-fault divorces and take half their shit. They're like, oh, she got that kind of mindset? Yeah, she one of them. Yeah, okay, we'll flop on top of you. We're gonna make sure we don't get you pregnant and ain't gonna be no marriage in your future. That's what it's at. And then she really gonna be pissed off, because see what happens with women like her. Once they get in mattress mode long enough and they see they're not gonna graduate to no type of wife status, now they get pissed off. They start yelling at the guys and trying to set them up. I hate it for any guys that's dealing with it. Y'all better go ahead and smash a couple more times and leave her on the table, boy. Cause see, that's when they start trying to pin stuff on you, because you're not gonna go ahead and take her off the market. Only a sucker would marry a woman like this. And I don't care if he was a bus driver. I'm going to say it again. Mattress K Williams, your ass do not qualify for no bus driver. You don't qualify for a carpenter. You don't qualify for a trash truck man. You don't. Because you can't give a man peace and you're not prepared to follow his lead for what he's bringing to the table in his manhood. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make that statement clear here tonight, because I didn't hear too many people saying that. You don't qualify for no blue collar brother. Let's let this helper continue.
Wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning Black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about Black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Okay, so now you heard her, right? And yeah, I already told you puke tubes, man. Fair use, puke tube, fair use, don't you dare try it. Fair use, don't you try it. I don't care how mad you get. Ebony, you gonna get this mattress, K Williams. You gonna get this truth over here tonight. Oh, it's gonna burn them little old high yellow ears of yours. Oh, it's gonna burn. Cause see, I ain't done with you by sight. See, let's deal with what she was talking about. With what she was talking about white supremacy, huh? Oh, you know the truth about Black people? You do, Ebony? You do? See, let me make this clear, and I'm probably one of the few platforms that will be completely fair about what I'm about to say here. Probably one of the few platforms that'll do it. I don't care if it's a Black man or a Black woman. Once you hop your ass over there to mayonnaise land, and then you start speaking down to black people, because it would be one thing if you went over to mayonnaise land and one, you didn't talk down on your people. Number two, the person that you were with was actually doing something to benefit black society. I could give you a pass. Now, would I be comfortable with you leading anything? No, I would not. That's black man or black woman, okay? See, you only become a bed wench when you jump over there and you start disparaging your people, or a bed bug when you jump over there and start disparaging your people. See, you open up your mouth about white supremacy, but you hop right over there. And see, this guy right here, I think his name is Stephen Glenn. He was a CFO, a chief financial officer of a major company, multi-millionaire. She jumped over there with Zaddy and started trying to disrespect him and his kids. Man, let me tell you something. He kicked her to the curb faster than she could say her own name. Oh yeah, see, fact of business. Let me put this article in the chat here. You know what? I want y'all to check this out. Don't believe me. You can read up about this, bookmark this article, and you can see what she tried to pull with Zaddy. Because see, a chick like this don't understand that this stuff that you try to pull with Zaddy, you try to pull that, what you gonna pull with black men with Zaddy, he ain't having it. See, let me explain why. And divestment dummies, pay attention, because you could learn something from this. The reason why Zaddy ain't gonna tolerate that foolishness is because he's already at the top of the economic and socioeconomic food chain. He's used to getting his way. You think this man, see, Zaddy don't suffer from the low self-esteem that a lot of black men suffer from, even those that are well-to-do. I got to call that out. You have a lot of high-earning brothers like Tyrese Gibson that think they deserve the lowest of the low and any kind of trash and put themselves in all types of horrible situations with these heifers. But see, Zaddy, most Zaddies don't have that low self-esteem problem. He knows his value not only monetarily, but he knows, hey, I can go anywhere in the world and get what I want. And you think that your little basic bimbo bird brain behind is gonna sit up here and tell me what you ain't and not gonna do? And then she had this issue because during the quarantine, he went to quarantine with his kids and then asked her to come. I'm like, okay, well, you know where he at? And she took an issue with that. She claimed that's the reason they broke up. Nah, that's not really it. Like I said, I'll put this article in the chat room again if y'all want to read that trash. But see, she's pissed off because she claims that she's done them all, right? Isn't that what she told us? Well, here's the problem. I'm going to say it again. The common denominator in all her failed situationships was her. It was you. See, ladies, especially young ladies that'll listen to the sound of my voice live recorded, I'm not picking on you. Again, I'm saying this to you so you can course correct if any of this applies to you. If you just keep having the same bad results over and over, and even the brothers, but we're dealing with her right now. If a person in general keeps having the same results over and over and over again in these relationships, the common denominator is you. At some point, you're supposed to take a step back and say, wait a minute, why am I repeatedly getting these same results? What is it about me that either keeps attracting these people to me that ain't about nothing, or what is it about me that's attracted to them? And see, these are the questions that women that don't really sit down and tell each other like that. Iyanla Vanzant will come close. But see, I found it very hilarious and egregious for her to even take the time to even make the statement trying to thread white supremacy into this thing when you already done said that you over there, you're not loyal to your people like that. Because you already explained how you look at men as a utility. But yeah, you know, I just had to remind you of this because, see, we're going to get into something else. We're going to get into something else here. Yeah, because we got to do this the right way. I'm going to pull up something that many of you have already heard. And before we get into it, fair use. We're going to analyze this segment of the exchange on the Breakfast Club. And this was after she doubled down on her stupidity. We're going to analyze this segment between her and DJ Envy. Family, when I tell you this is an example of exactly what a man of no collar work will tolerate, this is the perfect example right here. And then, you know me, I am not a DJ Envy fan, okay? I am not a DJ Envy fan. But see, the truth doesn't care who tells it. And this is a perfect example, young sisters, of what men do not find attractive, because to his credit, he was very professional with her. He was very respectful. Didn't call out her name. He was trying to toss some sense into her ignorant behind. Family, I want y'all to listen to this exchange, and then we're going to break a couple of things down about this.
In the goalpost, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy. Envy, that's a projection. Because let me finish.
I'll let you speak. Let me talk.
Go ahead, Envy. Yeah.
So when you start talking.
Again, fair use, fair use. Point number one, because we're going to break this down point by point, because I really want to make sure that the younger women with some sense and your older sisters, just in case you're listening, catch the mistakes that was made here by EbonyKWilliams. Ladies, y'all got to get this through your heads. One of the number one pet peeves of most men, one of the most disrespectful things you can do to a man that's not disrespecting you now, keyword, let's be fair. If somebody's disrespecting you, fire away, defend yourself however you need to verbally, or any other way if it gets beyond verbal. But when a man is being polite towards you and you're holding civil discourse, you have a difference of opinion, stop trying to talk over men. Stop doing that. Because one, see, you think is making you look strong or like you domineering over the man. Let me tell you how that's hurting you. Because it doesn't cost men nothing when you do that. It's aggravating. It's disrespectful. What you're doing, though, pay attention. You shooting your stock down in the eyes of other men that would be interested in you because they're like, oh, she's a disrespectful helper. Okay. See, men that are established, we take notes on things without making it vocal. See, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of brothers in the chat room ain't going to like me for saying this because it's kind of like an inside joke. For you helpers that like to do that and be disrespectful, try to talk over men when we talking. A lot of them like, man, don't tell them. But brothers, somebody got to see it, man. This is a teaching lesson, so I got to do it. We look at you quietly and be like, yep, okay, disrespectful. Mark that off. See, you make it easy to disqualify yourself. And she cut this man off on his show. Okay, on his show. Mind you, I could understand if he was disrespecting her. But you on his show, it's his job to conduct the interview. You would think, okay, he let me speak. Now let him speak. Because she was babbling on and on before this. I'm just analyzing the section right here that's going to make the biggest point of what I'm saying. So again, I'm telling you, ladies, in respectful conversations and discourse where you have a difference of opinion, you're entitled to your opinions. Nobody's saying you're not. Wait until your turn to speak. Or at least get into a point where you're holding a civil discourse or you make what's called a polite interjection. Now, what do I mean by polite interjection, right? Here's the deal. A polite interjection is, let's say, Envy is speaking. Because, this is what I don't consider disrespectful if a woman is doing this. I've been on panels and different things, Twitter spaces, and had conversations about a lot of things where people have disagreements. If a sister says, okay, hey, brother, after you make that point, I'd like to respond to that. And then just wait briefly. Okay, now that's not disrespectful. She just letting it be known that, hey, I would like to give a rebuttal to what you're saying, especially if there's multiple people on a panel that's discussing something. Now, that's polite. That's not disrespectful for a man or woman to do. But see this, I'm going to cut you off and talk over you. So that way, yeah, if I just make sure that you don't get to say anything, I won the argument. Let me tell you why that's intellectually lazy. It's intellectually lazy for you to do that because instead of engaging somebody's point, you start trying to get loud, you start trying to filibuster, and then you're going to tell this man he's projecting. Nobody's projecting the damn thing. I just played you her words unedited. Y'all heard that. You heard her initial comments and you heard when she tried to double down on it. Nobody's projecting, but see, let me tell you something else, and I got to go here with it. That's one of the main problems. That's one of them. But salute to my good brother, Richard Sudan in the building. Man, I'm glad you over here. Let me go ahead and make you a moderator. Man, this is one of my good friends over there in the UK. This brother does solid, excellent work. Salute to you, brother. Glad to see you in the building. But see, here's the thing. One of the problems about when these women go over here and date Zaddy, they pick up Zaddy's gaslighting habits. And let me explain to you why, because I know a lot of you going to be like, that's unfair. What about the black men? I'm going to make it make sense. Bear with me, because I know I probably pissed y'all off with that. The reason why I said that is, in general, in most relationships, especially if you're dealing with men in the dominant society, they're not going to let no woman lead the damn relationship. So with men in general, women tend to take after the habits of their men. This is why I say you spend too much time over there with Zaddy. When they thin lips is moving, they lying, like I always tell you, you start to take on his ways. Now, you compare that. Take it to a situation where there's a black man and he's got a Becky. If he's worth a backbone, he's not going to conform to her standards. If he was a buck dancing coon, he was already that before he came over there. You see my point? And if you want to try to argue with me, let me throw a bit of humor in here before we get back to this. You're wrong, GBS. Women don't take after their men. Okay, well, why y'all always trying to wear our clothes? Come on, come on now. Tell the truth, brothers. How many times you go to grab your favorite hoodie, you can't find it because your old lady got it? Come on now. Boy, y'all just hijack our stuff. We can't have nothing to ourselves. So don't tell me you don't like to conform to what your men do. Pick up our lingo and everything. So, hey, I got jokes, but y'all know that's the truth. We're going to get back to this disrespectful heifer here because, like I said, this is a lesson on what not to be, ladies. Let's let it continue.
Talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Well, let's address it, and let's not skip a beat. So, I would love to know how you know what I'm looking for because we never had the conversation.
I don't know.
But you just
telling you what
it.
people are.
Now, see, let me show you why what she just pulled is disrespectful. And ladies, you got to understand that this type of crap is not a strength. It is a hardcore weakness. It is a hardcore weakness. We don't have to have a conversation about what you was looking for because I want y'all to correct me if I'm wrong now. I know that, me reaching with this level of common sense might offend some people, but I don't have to have a conversation with you about what you're looking for when I can look and see what you got. We go get what we want. We don't have to have conversations about that. If I can look with my two eyes and see what you with and what you said, you had them all. Ain't that what she said? I don't need to have a discussion with you about it. I see what you do. See, this is the point when you get to gaslighting to the point that you make yourself sound like you insane. You see what I'm saying? But hey, she's so much smarter than everybody else. Oh boy, everybody else is dumb except for her. I want y'all to listen to the psychotic levels of babbling that she's about to sink to in what she's about to say to rebuttal DJ Envy.
Staying on comments what I've read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm speaking for the average person out there because I feel for them because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club. That's right. They keep me booking shows.
Nobody is saying, first of all, this is not about you booking shows.
I'm just telling you how I feel. So when you shit on the people that ride with me,
Envy, you're dead ass wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't think I was shitting on them?
I know it. First of all, I know it wasn't. I think.
Now, you see what I was talking about some of these chicks with these types of careers like a lawyer, an attorney or whatever, just arguing. See, she arguing so much, and a lot of women tend to do this. Ladies, this is not a good look. If you listen, you would see where he's coming from because, see, let's add narcissism to it too. You heard those clips that she made, the initial statement and the rebuttal where she doubled down on it. In her mind, she thinks that that's actually talking to those brothers with respect. And then you trying to act as if brothers are too stupid to catch your damn insults. See, let me tell y'all something, man. I don't know about a lot of y'all, but see, those of us down in the South, Southern black men, we can't stand nobody playing with our intelligence like that. Especially those of us that came up in two-parent households. Oh, no. See, men will respect women that are honest with their statements versus these little dirt bags like her, like Mattress K. Williams, that'll try to piss in your face and tell you it's yellow rain. What you said was disrespectful. You absolutely did shit on blue collar workers with your statements. Yes, you did. You did it. But now, since the community, and look, shout out to all the sisters giving her pushback on this, because I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that. I saw that with my own eyes. There have been several sisters besides Iyanla to rebuke this type of foolishness, because to their credit, a lot of these sisters understand the totality of what a good man is besides just our financial income. So I got to give them credit for that. But see, when you're dealing with a narcissist, combine it with that lawyer, an attorney career where you're always arguing and you think that makes you somebody, you drag that into relationships, and then when you come around other men, you still think you on your job. Instead of holding discourse with people, actually trying to gain some understanding, even if you still hold your position, at least listen enough so that you can understand where other people are coming from. And see, I'm going to tell you something. Brothers that are well established, no matter what collar work they do, and an unreasonable woman, a woman that just won't listen to nothing, we don't want women like that around us. Listen, I'll hire you. You might be a hell of a lawyer. I'll definitely send you in the court to fight a case for me. Would I be interested in dating you? Hell to the no. Oh, no. Oh, no, ma'am. I would dap you up. You may as well be one of the fellas. That I don't care how much you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. It is what it is. I want you to listen to all this narcissism that's about to float up out of her mouth. This is crazy right here. She doesn't even realize how silly she look. And the sad thing about it, I guarantee you she don't have nobody in her close family circle, friend circle to tell her you look like a stark raving fool up here on this interview.
What you're saying right now is irresponsible. I think what you're saying is irresponsible. Envy, I think what you are framing right now in this moment is highly irresponsible. Because if you listen, I'm going to tell you. Because if you were to listen to all of the full Iyanla interview, the full sidebar, the full episode of Holding Court, nowhere in any of that commentary did I say a cross or negative word about the working class of Black America, of America broadly, or Black men. I'm going to get.
Now, see, this is what I found to be completely disgusting and despicable. Just because you didn't say it in those exact words, you insinuated that with your behavior and your response. See, let me tell you women that are like Mattress EbonyKWilliams something. You want to make sure you stay perpetually single, keep playing with men's intelligence as if we can't recognize when we're being disrespected. Because see, the number one thing that's most important to men that actually have grown to manhood, it's not the size of your ass, it's not the size of your boobs, it ain't no lipstick you wearing, no outfit, no weave, no makeup, no none of that. We don't care about how cute you are. If you do not respect us, you have no place in our lives. None. We will send your ass packing in the other direction faster than you can blink. That's what you better get through your head if you don't want to be perpetually single. You understand me? See, she don't get it, but it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't like it, but there's one great heavyweight champ that is undefeated. That Wall, I don't care whether you like it or not. See, if you take care of yourself and you play your cards right, you can hold the Wall off for a little bit, okay? Because everybody's going to age, men and women. You can hold it off a little bit. Men are not judged primarily on our looks, though. We're judged on our ability to produce, okay, our ability to solve problems, income, and a whole bunch of life skills and experience. You're primarily judged on your looks. So you would think that you would endear yourself to a man so that by the time them looks start to fade, you actually have a brother that fool with you for real. He loves you. He's providing for you. So that way, hey, the Wall can go ahead and hit you. You good. You secure. You got your man. Not you. See, this is the bad part about women like her. The Wall, she ain't got to wait for it to come. She's drawing it to her, and it's going to jump up and frog splash her ass, and she ain't going to realize it until it's too late. But hey, I don't know nothing. She got all the answers. Let's let the attorney finish arguing.
To the why was my fiance. Envy, let me finish this statement.
Do you know what people feel?
I'm going to get to.
Just because you didn't mean to hurt somebody, just because you didn't mean to affect somebody, doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community. I can say anything about somebody, but like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to this show, and they're hurt.
Ebony, what about?
So now, see, you heard what DJ Envy tried to talk sense to her, and see. Fellas, this is an example of women like this, why you don't give them the time of day. And if you're dealing with that and you got any self-esteem, I don't care what level your income at, you get out of that situation. Don't you put up with this. Because see, what DJ Envy was trying to do is like talking to a dining room table. He was saying, hey, listen, whether you meant to do it or not, you offended the people that support you most, that give you your status and make access for you to be where you are. See, I don't care who you are. You nothing without the people, man. I don't care how much success I have. I'll never come on here on this platform. Oh, you niggas this, you niggas that. Start talking crazy to my audience. No, man, you ain't nothing without the people. Now, my purpose for what I'm doing, I'm not trying to garner any fame and attention. I live very well outside in my day-to-day life. I just try to bring you proper information. I'm not in it for no popularity contest or nothing. I try to teach lessons over here that people can use. And the lesson that I'm trying to teach you tonight, do not, ladies, young ladies especially, do not adopt this type of attitude and demeanor. If you want to be invisible to men and run around here like a little ghost, do this. By all means, do this. If you want actual men that are worth a damn to deal with you and actually give you their last name and take you serious, do the opposite of what she's doing, okay? Do the opposite. Because, see, this is a woman right here that just not, it's very immature. It's on a childlike level, a childlike reasoning level, because the way Envy broke that down to her, a woman that actually is operating off maturity, she would have said, you know what, brother? I didn't see it that way. Now, I still feel strongly about what I said. I stand on my statements, but that was not my intention to make anybody feel that way. People would have respected you more for that. And see, this is why men are better able to communicate that, because, see, let's keep it a buck. For black men here in America, I don't care what your shade is, we don't have the luxury of living in a damn fantasy world and not taking accountability for stuff. The minute that black men even come close to making a mistake, we have to take accountability for it. The system makes us do that. So we have to operate in reality. We can't operate in these fantasy worlds. We don't. Look, let me tell you something right now. I know I got a lot of brothers listening to me right now. I know you from different areas of the country. I guarantee you this is something we all have in common, no matter which region of this country we was raised in. If a group of us get together and we trying to accomplish a task and one or two of us or several of us are screwing up, the men are going to get together and make that known and be like, listen, man, check this out. We trying to get this done. You messing up over here. Look, we can't make it like this. We're going to need you to tighten up, or we're going to have to find somebody else. Now, the men that want to get the task accomplished, we're going to be like, okay, you know what, brother? I didn't know show me how to do this right. Let's get it on the same page so we can get the mission accomplished. That's how we think. Men that are worth a damn now. Again, this does not apply to the hobosexual that like to sit up and live off women and then go into McDonald's and then be looking at their woman to go in her purse and get them a Happy Meal. You ain't even you're afterthought in this conversation. This don't even apply to you. You keep doing what you do, and you'll keep getting kicked out by the women that you sit up there and leech off of. So just making it clear, we're not talking to the hobosexuals. But see, for the men, that's how we operate. So that's why we deal with reality with things like this, okay? And he was trying to get her to see that. But again, she's too far gone to reason with. See, this is the problem. When you get those degrees, and there's nothing wrong with having a degree, there's nothing wrong with having a career. When you let that shit go to your head and it makes you think you're more important and more intelligent than you actually are, to the point that you don't exercise common sense, it doesn't matter if you have 100 degrees. If you don't have common sense, it's useless. It's useless. But see, again, she's too far gone. She can't see that. Kudos to DJ Envy for trying, man, because most brothers would have just sat there. Let me see, this is when you're in trouble, ladies. Let me tell you something before I let her finish babbling. When you see men and you start talking like she talking, and most brothers in here know I'm telling the truth, they're going to be mad for me for telling you this, but I'm going to show you a sign when you know men are really not taking you serious. When brothers just sit there and just start laughing at you, don't even argue with you, just okay. She's hilarious. We look at it like, yeah, she batshit crazy, bro. Yeah, everything that come out her mouth is pure entertainment from here on out. When brothers start laughing at you like that, just know you done. You done. Just know that. But hey, she got more to say. Let's let her talk.
Words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations. I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there that buy your books and follow you and support you.
You asked me to be quiet. Y'all, please. Y'all asked me to be quiet. I listened to your full statement. I understand you have a feeling about it.
I let you talk for 22 minutes, and I just spoke for 60 seconds.
She is here to talk to him.
I know, but I just spoke for 60 seconds.
Man, bless DJ Envy's heart, bro. Because see, let me tell y'all something, man. Envy made the statement, and he was trying to clean it up and be polite with it. He made the statement that, okay, you hurt people. You hurt a lot of people. You hurt a lot of people. Nah, DJ Envy, let me tell you what she didn't hurt. There might have been some men that were hurt by it, But the greater majority of guys that were established, we laughed when we saw it. We're like, oh, you one of them? Now, I would never be interested in her no way, but the brothers in her that were in her spirit that probably was like thinking about dealing with her, she don't understand the type of message that just sent. Oh boy, you radioactive. See, man, see, look, let me tell you how you gonna know your brother is right on this. And I want y'all to keep an eye out for it. Cause see, I'm not really in those spaces, but I guarantee you gonna see it happen just this way. To prove that what I'm saying is right about the shifting mentality of men with all this crap going on that men are dealing with, the unfairness in these family courts, all this paternity fraud, and the whole litany of things that especially black men have to face, what's going to happen now, due to her public, internationally seen display of just vindictiveness, uncooperativeness, haughty, arrogant, condescending behavior, the whole world saw that now. What's finna happen is most of the little flunkies that you was dealing with, that she was interested in, they probably finna start cutting off access to her, backing off. Cause see, that's what men do. When we done with you, it ain't gonna be no fanfare. See, look, let me go ahead and give you an education. Cause see, I want the young brothers to learn how you move like a boss when you're a man. And I want the young women to understand how a boss is gonna treat you when you start getting out of line. What a boss does, and you got two types when it comes to men. I'm gonna have to do a broadcast on this because a lot of people don't understand what I'm about to say. Everybody knows the term alpha male, okay? You got your alpha males, top of the line running things or what have you, leaders, okay? But then beyond that, you have what's called a sigma male. Now, I would fall into that category. We usually tend to stay to ourselves, okay? You're not gonna disrespect us. And when alpha males get around us and they try to run things with us, we usually butt heads because they're not gonna be able to run over us like that. So now, if you have sigma male class men that are successful and alpha males, the one thing they do have in common with women like that, when you start acting up to a certain point, an alpha male may go back and forth with her a little bit because he's interested to try to keep her, okay? But at a certain point, he just gonna say, you know what, I'm done. You're gonna look up and see your replacement. A sigma male, let me tell you something. What a sigma is going to do, you're not going to get no arguing back and forth because, see, in the beginning, we've already told you what we will and will not tolerate, and you got one time to put us to the test because we're going to consider that, oh, okay, you showing me you are no longer interested in being in my company. The first time you do it, what's going to happen? No more phone calls, no more texts, no more nothing. You done because we realize we don't have to put up with it. See, when you know your value and your worth as a man in totality, not just your income, when you know what you bring to the table to the point that you can take a woman who might not have had much success in nothing, bad credit, okay, just can't get things together, can't keep that right. You can provide some type of program, plan, and direction, say, okay, this is how a woman is supposed to move. Then you make sure she's looking like $1 million every time she step out because she represents your name. See, when we understand that type of value about ourselves, we're not going to put up with no disrespect from you. Get back out there too. You belong to the streets or whoever want to come get you. We'll sit your ass outside the house just like some old friends. Anybody want to come get this? Have at it. Hey, I don't want no money for it. You can take it. Here you go. Put a bow on top of it. It's all yours. That's how we deal with you, okay? And see, in her case, I know what a lot of y'all think. Well, she's an attorney. She's got money. She don't need them in. Oh, really? Oh, yeah? See, let me tell you something that I know. And you can't hide this from most men. The women like that get up there with all that pin-up frustration, that's how you know she ain't really dealing with no man that's about nothing. Because, see, ladies in here will bear me witness to this. If a woman got a good man that's about something and she's happy, it's hard to get them women upset. Look, you really only got two ways to get a woman upset that's got a good man that fool with her for real. Because she got everything taken care of. She knows she got to do, she got what she want. You going to have to either call her out her name to her face or just go and put your hands on her. Other than that, she like, nigga, my life is good. You can't say nothing to me. I got what I want. Like, in fact, the business, man, let me just get off around you. Let me get back to what I know and keep winning over here. You know what I'm saying? That's how women that are satisfied deal with men. That old angry, hostile energy she got is a dead giveaway. I'm going to keep it clean here tonight, but I know she ain't getting satisfied no other kind of way. That's a woman that in her house probably got a big, nice house, drive nice cars. She cry herself to sleep at night with a glass of wine, and heaven help her if she on them damn antidepressants. I'm just telling it like it is. But see, let me tell you something else. for you young sisters out here that hadn't learned that game yet, you better learn to spot the mattress K. Williams out there, because that's what I'm going to call her, because she's miserable in her own life. And if you got a good man, that bitch will slit your throat to get your dude's attention. You understand me? You better learn what I'm saying to you. See, I told you, I'm going to call it down the middle here tonight. Everybody going to learn something from this broadcast. So now that we got Miss Ebony K. Williams out the way, let me show you how bad this thing has actually gotten before we get to the rest of what we got to show you about these types of women, because we're going to make it clear that we're talking about a certain type of women, like a mattress K. Williams. Boy, let me tell you, you know you done messed up. You know you done messed up when you got the Prince of Pan-Africanism on your ass. Oh, oh, boy, you done did it, boy. You done got the Prince. The Prince had some words. And you know what? There are certain things that I disagree with our good brother Umar on, and certain things I agree with. He's a very intelligent man. I recommend that you get his books dealing with the American school system if you have a black child. Okay, I'm all about promoting information that helps our people. But see, in case you hadn't heard this yet, the Prince has some choice words for Miss Mattress K. Williams. Family, wait till you hear what he had to say. Let me go ahead and let the Prince talk.
I saw that sister on the Breakfast Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K. Williams. What's the sister who was on there with Charlamagne and Envy today? Very well-spoken sister. What's her name? I seen her. What's the sister's name, brothers and sisters? Ebony K. Williams. Well-spoken sister. She made some great points, but dear Ebony, that's not what you was talking, sweetheart. That's not what you was talking. You was on some talented bullshit, and you tried to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister. You was talking down to working class blacks. You are a bourgeoisie. You are a bourgeoisie feminist, and I hope to God you wasn't engaged to no white man, because I thought somebody said you was engaged to a white man. Ebony, I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister. You still didn't deal with collective work and responsibility, though. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. And I don't know where you've been getting your reports from, sweetheart, but we got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today, like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Ebony K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister Ebony K. Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Ebony K. Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister. Oh, yes. No disrespect. I love my sister. I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. She said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative she was pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on black males with blue collar jobs. Ebony K. Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors? Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons?
He's absolutely correct on that. See, this goes into what I was saying in the earlier portion of the broadcast. You have to look at what professions and careers pay at max, okay? Potentially, if you get certain types of certifications or you're a contractor, okay? Umar's not lying about that. See, when you tend to think in terms of six figures, all this other stuff, you tend to think corporate America, a guy in a suit, stuff like that. No. Some of these blue collar men that people like that look down on, he's telling the truth. Don't take my word for it. Go look up the salaries for those careers. Again, be the type of woman that pay attention to numbers instead of having the attitude that Mattress K. Williams has. And before we let the good prince get back to it, salute to my sniper Project Leroy. He had to put that wrench upside somebody's head. Great mechanic work, but I'm going to briefly do something I rarely do. I'm going to address what the chick named Brace, because she's probably a divestment dummy. Oh, you came to the right channel. Your little ears going to burn up over here. See, let me tell you something, Brace. Don't worry about how the cadence and tone of my voice and what type of English I use sounds, because everybody else over here understands what I'm saying just fine. I proudly speak with a thick Southern Georgia barbecue accent. And the other statement that I saw you make talking about what women don't want me or whatever, let me tell you something, man. I am a humble brother. I don't like to brag, but I'm going to make one statement and leave it at that. I may have 99 problems, but y'all know the rest of that. I promise you that. I'm gonna lead seat, man. I'm trying to keep this educational, but see, sometimes you get these little nitwits that come over here, man. Look, I'm the last brother that's got to worry about any type of female company, okay? The only problem I really have, I just don't want the Beckys coming after me. Because, see, look, your brother, every time you see me, I'm going to be decked to the nines, and my cologne game is lethal, okay? Never mind everything else. So I ain't gonna get to bragging, because they can stroke a pen and take anything from any black man anytime they get ready. But I live an excellent life, sister. So the crap that you talking about, you better find something else. There are people right now that's texting me laughing at that shit you just said, because you really don't know who you're talking to, for one. But you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna have to flex a little bit. We'll consider that. We got to make sure it's educational, though. We're going to get back to our brother, Dr. Johnson here, because, see, man, look, he was cooking on this. I just have one issue with something. I'm going to point that out after he finishes making his statement. Let's let the good doctor continue.
Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers? You got plumbers who make more money than architects. I think you got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data a little bit better, because I heard a whole lot of Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. I didn't hear a single group solution on that conversation today from Sister Ebony. I didn't hear a single group solution. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. No disrespect. I respect my sister. Very articulate, well-spoken, but I don't hear a lot of conscious energy coming from her. A lot of my middle-class bougie black sisters, they on that individualism, Europeanism. Peace, Baba. I'm gonna get with you in a minute. I saw a lot of European individualism, brothers and sisters. Where the group solutions at? Oh, just go to college and get yourself a job and save your money from your bus job and open up a business. Where the f is the group solutions at, Ebony K? Are you related to Tasha K? Where the group solutions at? Where the group? I ain't hear a single group solution out that sister's mouth this morning. Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism disguised as collective work and responsibility. You can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time. You can't fool King Kong consciousness none of the time.
So you heard the prince. Oh, yes. You know you don't mess up when you get the prince on your head, boy. But he was speaking straight truth with everything that he was saying, right? So I'm going to tell you the only issue that I had with the good Dr. Umar Johnson, and not only him, but other men, you don't have to curse them out. You don't have to call them out their name. But see, I'm going to tell you something that I don't do when a sister needs correcting. You can address them professionally and respectfully, But I'm not going to overly call you a sugarcoat nothing by calling you sister, queen, all this. No. You a grown woman. You made a mistake, and we going to talk about it, okay? See, sometimes that hurts women more than it helps them, and I understand why he does it. But see, sometimes when you lay that on extra thick, you get to the point where you're not really getting to the heart of the matter. And let me tell you why a good man gets straight to the point when you make a mistake as a woman. We want you to be better. The only way to correct a mistake is to acknowledge it. You see what I'm saying? If people sugarcoat it and nobody tells you exactly what's wrong, people just kiss your behind, you're going to stay stagnant, stuck in the same mistake that could cost both of you if you're on the same team in a relationship. So yeah, that Colin, no, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. But all that overly sister queen and all that, no. You know, brothers that are really about something, and I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying brothers that really want to make sure you get the point, they ain't finna do all that with you. You have to earn those titles by way of your behavior. You see what I'm saying? And see, I know we got the divestment dummy crew so angry tonight. Oh, they pissed off. Oh, they gonna be talking about me on Clubhouse everywhere. Go ahead. Cause see, divestment dummy that had to make up an account and come back. Oh, my moderators are on your head. Let me tell you something. I know that you're attracted to the sound of this southern voice, but baby, I got bad news for you. You don't qualify. I don't like women with little pine straw needle wigs in their head, okay, running around with fake Valley Girl accents. All right. And then you over there with the mayonnaise man, the snowman territory. Oh, no, baby, I'm sorry. You know, that's a deal breaker for me. So I get it. I understand that my voice is deep, okay, and you love this southern lingo, and you got to come over here because, see, this is the only male attention that you can really get. You probably sitting in an apartment somewhere with a bunch of cats and dogs and plants and stuff, and you waiting on Zaddy to take interest in you and come back and just scratch you and pay attention. Or you might like the golden showers, too, because, you know, some of y'all are into that. You know, you let Zaddy do anything as long as he pay you some attention. Well, you know, I'm sorry. You're not going to find none of that over here. Now, you can show your heart out, but my moderator's going to be on your ass. I'm going to tell you. That wasn't even me that blocked. I'm just telling you. These moderators over here are some of the best in the game. So, I mean, it's practice for them. They're going to love putting the wrenches upside your head. They're basically certified mechanics over here. So, you just know that you can keep coming back. Go get your friends. You know what I'm saying? Hey, moderators. It's going to be wrench time. Go ahead and put some lube and grease on your wrenches because, you know, they probably finna go around and tell their little friends. But let them come on over here because, see, I want my people to learn, even the wayward lost ones, because even though it's too late for them, I want you to know just how bad your situation is. Which brings me to what we're about to review. I see y'all laughing in the chat over there. You know we're going to have a good time over here when they start that foolishness. But, see, this brings me to this chick right here, and this is really sad. But I had to throw this in here for a teaching lesson also. We dealt with Miss Ebony K. Williams because she flunked out and missed the bus, okay? That's going to set in because what's going to happen when the men that are paying her some attention stop dealing with her, she going to come back out with the worst hit piece you ever seen on black men. Mark my words, it's coming. Even if it's Zaddy that turn her down, they always blame it on black men. That's fine because that doesn't hurt us. That hurts you, okay? So here it is. I want you to listen to what this chick had to say, and I'm going to let her talk for a minute. We're going to point some things out because we're going to help some people over here tonight that actually want to listen. Let's let her speak.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in...
I know what you should do, and I got a couple of things to tell you. See, this goes back to accountability once again. Fellas and ladies, I want you to pay attention to the look in our eyes, okay? That's that 1,000-yard stare from being a mattress and then finding out that all you ever gonna be is a mattress. Because, see, you choose who to give your time to. Now, this is the part that hurts women like this. Because, see, I'm going to tell you, the high yellow ones, they are really vindictive. And I love my butterscotch sisters. I'm not picking on y'all. I do. I love y'all. But, see, the high yellow ones are very vindictive. And I'm going to point out why. Because, see, in our community, some people hold them up as holier than thou. And when they see that okay, being high yellow ain't enough, and then you still actually have to make decent discernment and decisions when you are trying to attract a man or you dealing with men, and you keep choosing the same men over and over again because you're just going by swag and looks and whatever, but you're not paying attention to character. You're not paying attention if this man is gainfully employed, if he's a responsible leader, how's his life looking before you came into it? Is he living an organized life? Is he respected in the community? See, all these things I just said are too much like right. And she picks the same men over and over again. So this is the common denominator that they all have. They'll go pick these sorry homosexuals and little dudes that all they know how to do is dress up and look cute, but they don't have no type of skill set in life or problem solving ability. And then instead of you talking about that particular set of men, you blame all men and just say, oh, black men are this. No, baby, we ain't got nothing to do with them losers that you choose. We can't help because you probably got a place and you chose to recruit homosexuals over there and you was a mattress for them. And when you figured out that they used you up, now it's black men's fault. No, ma'am. Look in that mirror if she got one, because this is probably one of them chicks that have a mattress on the floor with no bed frame or box spring or whatever. If she's got a mirror, I would suggest she look in there and do some self-introspection and figure out what it is about you that's either attracted to those guys or what is it projecting about you that makes them keep coming to you, and why don't you recognize them and tell them no? You see what I'm saying? But hey, you know, I've said too much. She's got more to tell us, so I'm gonna be quiet and let her talk.
Dating another black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together, and then they don't want to support us.
Why you dealing with dudes that ain't got their shit together in the first place, though? You see, at some point, this is the biggest running joke ever for women like this. Keyword, women like this. She just said it, waiting for you to get your shit together. Why you ain't dealing with somebody that's got their stuff together at least on a decent level to the point where they're stable in life? What you dealing with somebody that ain't stable for? See, when you pick that, don't be mad with, look, if you go to a circus, okay, there are clowns at a circus, right? Clowns at a circus, right? You can't snatch a clown out of a circus and say, hey, come sit on this throne and be a king. It doesn't know how to be a king. It's a clown, damn it. That's what it is. It's a clown. Why are you surprised? Water is wet, fool. I'm telling you, you can't make this up. She ain't done yet, though. Oh, she finna go off. Let's let her continue.
They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us. But then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect. Fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for that.
So now you heard her, right? Oh, you heard her. Oh, see, look. It's sad, but it's funny because they all go and take it out on all of us when, look, let me tell you one of the main reasons why some of these chicks today go and get these guys like that and then they blame all of us. There were plenty of brothers that already had their stuff together, but to see the reason why you see a lot of these chicks and they have these little soft, wet noodle, soggy guys that want to run around dressing in, they want to wear women's clothes. Think about it. You're going to deal with a man and he fighting you to put on your clothes. You want to put on your jeans because his ain't tight enough. They go and get these little dudes that don't mind wearing pink and little frills. You basically want you a little Nas X, and then you mad because you can't instill masculinity into that wet noodle, soft, simp spine type of man. You go get them guys because they don't have no standards for you, and they're going to let you run over them. See, this is why they choose the homosexuals, but then they get mad when you can't turn a homosexual to a man. There is no magic formula to do that. See, let me tell you something, man. Women like that don't want to get under the direction of men that's already got together because we got rules and standards. We'll take care of you completely. We're not going to abuse you or nothing like that because in order to be a decent man, you can't be abusing women, okay? We'll take care of you all the way around, but it's going to be some rules and some structure. See, they don't want that, though. Oh, no. Because, see, that means you're not going to be running the show. You're not going to be disrespectful, and it's going to be some order and structure to things, which works better for everybody in the long run. But see, now, what they want to do, they want to get them little build-a-boos, and they think it's some magic formula that's going to actually turn them into men. That's not going to happen because, see, Let me tell you something about most of the men in this chat room. From different backgrounds, education levels, profession. You can't make some soft spine simp into what we are. We thrive off adversity. We take pride in solving difficult problems. We get up every day ready to conquer the damn world. And we don't need no rah-rah, sis, boom, bow, pat on the back to do it. It's an internal drive thing because it's a challenge to us to be better than we were the next day that we wake up. You see what I'm saying? You can't put that into somebody that don't have it. You running around here with these little dudes, they can tell you about all the latest fashion and every other goofy thing, but then when it's time to solve a problem, can't change a car tire. Sink leaking, can't repair that, okay? It's always something that they don't have no problem-solving ability. So then what happens with women like that when they got that little homosexual, because see, it's fun to run over them in the beginning. Woo, I got a man I can control. Look at this little punk. I can throw him out tomorrow. And on the street, I'm running things. Okay, but you showed them most of the financial load, and they're willing to do that as long as they control them. Here's where the acid starts to burn at. When you decide to go out with your little homosexual, and you go out into the real world in the company of women that have solid men behind them, that all you got to do is just silently look, and you see the way he treats that woman, she ain't got to reach in her purse to pay for a damn thing. Oh, don't be on no vacation. Because see, the way we conduct ourselves versus the homosexual that you had to drag on vacation because you paid for everything. Oh, you going to be mad. Listen, I shouldn't laugh, but I'll share something with you before we get on with this. I'm going to make it brief because this is gonna be somewhat mean. I've been on vacations with certain female acquaintances. And, you know, old school, hey, I pay the cost to be the boss, man. But I've seen what that look like when they drag them homosexuals on vacation, man. And, boy, they get frustrated because they have to do everything. Then they looking around everybody else. And their man, you know, hey, all you got to do is just kick back with your feet up with these drinks and we're going to enjoy this. Totally different experience. Don't be on no cruise. Oh, that's some of the funniest stuff ever. Fellas, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Have you ever witnessed a homosexual arguing with his benefactor, his woman? Have you ever seen that? That's some of the funniest shit on earth. Oh, I know I shouldn't laugh. Look, hey man, listen, God ain't done with me yet. I'm a work in progress, but that's just funny to me. It is. I love to sit back with snacks and popcorn. Like, oh, look at her. Oh, she's talking to it just like he a little kid. Oh, it's the most emasculating stuff ever. And then it's funny, not only because she emasculating him, but then she fire hot when she chose the food. You chose him. What did you think? This dude didn't have a pot to piss in or wouldn't throw it out of, and you mad because now you done took him somewhere and you know you basically got to be his mama at Chuck E. Cheese or wherever you at. You did it. It's the funniest stuff ever. Oh my God, bro. Man, listen, dog. Look, let me move on. Let me stop. Hey, look, y'all pray for me. You know, he working on me. I'm trying not to enjoy that kind of stuff, but it's just funny. It is. So anyway, let's get back to this lesson here tonight. I want y'all to hear what this woman is about to say, because some of y'all probably saw this, because see, this falls into the mattress K. Williams type of woman. Ladies, young ladies, this is very foolish. Don't you ever be this chick, because we're about to play something right now. Let me tell you something. In today's economy, with the shifting social structure of society, chances are you're going to only get one. Only one good guy that's going to fool with you for real and take care of you. And if that guy, he ain't beating on you or none of that other abusive stuff, and he actually making things happen for you, you better stick with that man and work that out. I want you to listen to this fool right here because see, she don't understand. She ain't going to find another one. It's a route for her. Let's let this play.
This year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes, but there was still something missing. And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect. I felt that there should have been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife. And so I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off. But when a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions that, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection. There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband. And so I stopped trying to explain it, and I just trusted my decision, and I went on. But then
I know I said I was through being petty. But I got to bring this to y'all's attention because I know I can't be the only one that sees this. What's most egregious about what she just did, and she's rattling off the list of things why the dude, she just had to leave. Baby, let me tell you something. Whatever man was putting up with you and them bad bangs, you wrong for that. If that's what you were wearing when this man was dealing with you, them bad bangs, man, running around looking like cousin it, you know what? Let me stop. Let me let her get back to it. Let me cut. I'm gonna try to restrain it. I'm trying to restrain it.
Epiphany, and it was just like, have you ever been shoe shopping and you saw a nice pair of shoes and it's like, ooh, I love the color, I love the style, the heel is the right size, and it's a reasonable price. Like it's on sale and it's a good shoe. Stop calling men.
Yeah, you saw Betty Bad Bangs up there. She just don't understand. She done. Cause see, let me tell you the gift of the internet and social media, gentlemen. Cause see, a lot of these guys are mad. Oh, look at them. Oh, they get the rages. No, this is enjoyment. This is great. They're stupid enough to do things like this and put it on a platform that is forever. Now, everybody that sees you know you ain't worth two dead flies. I'm telling you guys, some of you incels out there, you're looking at it the wrong way. Well, you incels got more problems than that because, y'all got to work on a lot to get with women. I'm going to have to do a whole broadcast on that one day. But for you brothers that can actually attract women, though, I'm just saying, man, stop being mad. She disqualified herself. Look, let me tell you what that's the equivalent of. These women, like the mattress K. Williams, that's the equivalent of you committing a crime and then walking into the courtroom, Your Honor. You know what? I'm one of the best criminals out here. Now, I understand that you a judge, but look, I'm a criminal. I'm the best. I got it on footage. Fact of business, put this on. Hey, I'm trying to get, maybe I'm going to audition for some movie roles. They're actually stupid enough to put the evidence where everybody can see it. Guilty. Rejoice, my sons. Do not be angry at these goofy turbo thoughts. She is done. No man worth a damn is going to see that and then deal with her. Because, see, the only chance she got, she going to have to clip them bad bangs off and do something else. And maybe she'll have a chance of not being recognized. But if she's silly enough to walk around with that, why would you do that? Ladies, look, there's a way to wear bangs. That ain't it. That ain't it now. Come on, man. Look, some of y'all sisters out here, look, let me tell you something, man. If y'all see her, get with your sister and fix them bangs, man. That's not cool, man. Because now, most foundation of Black American sisters will look out for each other. Y'all don't let each other run around looking like that. So now, if y'all see her, at least do that much for her. Maybe she'll get a second chance, a do-over. But I digress. Let me leave this woman alone. We got to play something here that's actually going to make some sense, though, because, see, there's some sisters out here that's actually talking like they got some sense, and they'll do very well as far as securing a good man because they got some sense. I want y'all to listen carefully to what this sister's got to say and absorb this real quick. Let's let her speak.
Men insecure for having standards. Stop calling men insecure for having boundaries. It's like y'all use the word insecure as some type of coping mechanism for men who actually care about the type of woman that they pursue a relationship with. Oh, you don't want me wearing this? You're so insecure. Oh, you don't want me going out late with my friends to the club at night? You're so insecure within yourself. Sis, that's not insecurity. That's love and protection. That man knows how visual men are. Why would he want his woman to be a target to other men? Why would he want your private area, something that only his eyes are supposed to see, on display for the whole world to see? See, the problem is you want the freedom of acting single all while still being in a relationship with someone. You want all the benefits, but expect him to just do everything that you say and just roll with it. You expect him to defend you. You expect him to protect and provide for you. But when he does it in a way that's not how you want, it's a problem. If he didn't love you, he wouldn't set up boundaries for you, sis. If he let you go out and do what you want to do, wear what you want to wear, staying up late all hours of night, he wouldn't give a damn about you, knowing very well the dangers that are out there. The only woman insecure is the woman who can't take direction from her significant other because deep down she knows that she still seeks the world's validation over her own significant other.
Now, let me tell you something about what this sister just said. From a man, take it from me, ladies. Those of you with sense enough to listen, she's right, because see, brothers are very territorial about the women that we claim as our own, that we really care about. Okay, whether it's 1 or 100, whatever anybody's situation is, because I know everybody got different situations, but if a man really cares about you, he got some standards and boundaries and rules for you, okay? See, the ones we don't care about, be like, oh, she don't care what you do. You think I ought to go down here at night? Yeah, go ahead. No, it don't matter. Because see, that's how we look. What we don't care about, we're not territorial about it. We don't bother trying to protect it. We're not gonna give you no pushback on nothing. See, that's how you know if you really just a side chick that a dude don't care nothing about. Because if you wear a certain thing or whatever, he ain't saying, hey, ho, where you going with that? No, hold up. No, you gonna need to change. Let's redo this. Let's get this right before you go out. The reason why is that's our stake. See, think about a pride of lions, okay, male lions. They don't share food like that. You know what I'm saying? That hey, he got his piece, he take it over there and chew on it by himself. And it's a problem if anybody else come over there to get it. I know I'm objectifying you, but I'm making it simple and plain. This is how men that value you think. We don't want everybody seeing that. Hence again, brothers rejoice. The turbo thoughts and the OnlyFans goofballs, they don't realize they have permanently disqualified themselves from dealing with decent men that are worth a damn. Because if you shown everybody all your intimate stuff, well, what's left for me? Don't nobody want no chick, man, that everybody done seen. And again, here's my rule on that. That is completely different from if you with a chick and she shares something intimate photos or videos with you, and then you a punk and you can go and leak her stuff out there. Okay, you a bitch. She ain't done nothing wrong because she shared that with you in the confines of a relationship and you broke her trust. We don't respect dudes that do that anyway. Okay, but see now, if you on OnlyFans and every time you on Instagram, your ass is hanging out where everybody can see it, you advertising. You belong to the streets. You don't belong to him. And see, you's a fool if you sit up here in a relationship with a chick like that. That's why I was getting on Tyrese, man. You go and wiped up an Instagram thigh. Think about it, man. Everybody else done seen your woman cheat. No, it'd be one thing if she just had a figure and she was fully clothed. Okay, she can't help that. But now she just willingly showing it while she with you. Let me ask you this question. How many of y'all would be surprised if you walked up to somewhere and a car had a for sale sign on it? And then when you went to talk to the owner about, hey, how much is this car? I see this for sale. Oh, it's not really for sale. Really? Well, why you got the sign up? You would be confused, right? You would be like, why you got a for sale sign up here if the car ain't for sale? You see how silly that is? And women know that. The women that do that, they know that. But see what it is, they try to gaslight and call men that have standards insecure. Okay? And if a man has respect and you all up there online like that, let me tell you something. I was dealing with a chick and I found out that's what she was doing. Ain't finna be no conversation about it. Don't worry about it. That means a lot to you. That's important to you. I want you to do what's important to you. I'm gonna do what's important to me and replace your ass with a woman that's got some sense enough to wear some clothes. Cause see, ladies, let me tell you something, man. I know a lot of y'all look at us like we're slobbering dogs, man. And it's true with some of us, because we appreciate the female form. I done told you about me. I'm open and honest about my heathenry. Every time I see attractive women that catch my eye, I start thinking about food. I'm like, yeah, boy, look at them lamb chops. Oh, yeah, boy, hey, look at them biscuits and them yams. Hey, man, look, I start thinking about soul food on a good old full plate. That's how I do it. I'm a heathen. I admit it. And see, the thing about it, most men that really value their women, man, what really turns us on is when you are sexy like that and you fully clothed. Okay, we ain't saying you got to run around in a burqa sack or, a Kroger sack or nothing like that, fully clothed like you one of the women over there in the Saudi Arab Emirates or whatever. But what we're saying is a woman that knows how to dress and it compliments her form to the point where you just sit there watching your woman. Y'all know what I'm talking about, brothers. You sit there watch your woman like, yeah, boy. Sometimes we just like to sit back and watch that walk, boy. Yeah, man. See, ladies, leave something to the imagination. And then it shows respect for your dude because it's like, okay, yeah, we know what the dudes are looking, but hey, they don't get to see what I get to see, when we in our private time and, we're in the bedroom. You see what I'm saying? See, that adds value to you as a man. And see, I've seen some of the stuff that mattress EbonyKWilliams wear. I'm like, yeah, for a chick that's supposed to be a professional, I done seen her wearing some stuff, but I like, okay, this right here. I don't know what man you think that's making hot. You know what? I'm gonna leave her alone. She already done. But got one more thing I want to show y'all, right? One more thing I want to show. I see y'all laughing. I got one more thing I want to show y'all. This is very sad because this was a tragic situation that happened with this woman's son here. But I'm going to point out the mistake that she made in this. So I'm going to let her talk, and then I'm going to point out what the issue was.
Father need to be found. Father need to step up and be fathers today. This is a reflection of what his daddy. You teach your boys how to be men. They need these fathers. If they not at home with their son, no matter who they're around, girlfriend or whatever, these boys need their dad.
Now, what she said is right. But you see this big no that I got on the screen here, right? Let me tell you what the problem I had with her statement. First, she's right that children in general, but especially young boys, need their fathers, okay, for guidance and manhood training, okay? The problem with this is, lady, when you had the baby, why did you not choose a man that was interested in staying with you and forming a family so that you could raise the child with a father? Because the way she's sounding, sounds like the father's out there, but see, this is the mistake that you make when you devalue a man and then you just lay up with any and everybody, because chances are it was a homosexual, and then they're not interested in starting no family. See, it's so bad. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. Some of these guys will actually tell these chicks they're not interested in being no father to no kid. Now, even if they don't tell them that directly, let's be real about this, right? Because, see, I want people to not make these types of situations, because that's who it really hurts, is the child. And unfortunately, you saw what happened to her son because he didn't have that guidance there. Here's the deal, man. When you choose guys like that are not interested in sticking around to form a family, these are the results. You can't blame nobody but yourself in that situation. Because, see, even if the guy didn't tell her directly that he wasn't interested in having no kids, let's be real. A lot of these guys have reputations in the areas that they're being chosen from. And then if you know that about the dude, if he got kids he ain't taking care of over here, don't you line up to have one from him. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying this to the younger women out here that are listening, okay? The older sisters should get this by now. But to the younger, impressionable women, pay attention to if a dude is in a situation where he's already got kids he don't take care of. Don't you sit around and end up pregnant by him at all. That ain't even somebody that you give your time of day to, okay? I'm just talking common sense with that. That's why I got this note sitting up here. But see, family, we finna get into something else. Because, see, I had to include something in here that's going to be a very thorough lesson. It is very well articulated and put together, and it's going to help a lot of people here. So I'm going to let this play, and I want y'all to prepare to listen to this because, see, this is going to help some people over here tonight.
Didn't run into a huge obstacle. Since time immemorial, we talk about the importance of manhood and the responsibilities that come along with that. However, as the warrior scholar Khalid Muhammad said, you can't have a god without a goddess. Black men and black women must help to balance one another. To try to do it without one or the other is like having a bird with only one wing. Yesterday, we took a look at what makes for a strong black man and what makes for a weak one. Today, we're going to be discussing what makes for a strong black woman and what makes for a weak one. First of all, we need to understand that the world has largely changed due to economic factors. That's the reason why we, and the New Voices of Black Media, spend so much time talking about finance, talking about money, talking about the economy, because that's what runs the world that we live in. Up until the 19th century, most of the job fields that built the societies of the world required muscle power, mud, and math. As a result, there weren't too many women who were involved in those fields. Usually they were doing lighter work. However, that came to an end with the 19th century and the advent of the Industrial Revolution. Societal trends follow economic ones. For all of human history up until the last 120 years or so, a woman's ability to earn a living was tied directly to her husband. This is why in the Bible and other ancient stories, when you come upon a widow, she's always portrayed as the poorest of the poor. There was no social safety net in the time of Jesus. This is an important point to make because it meant that a woman's survival and prosperity was directly tied to her choice of mate. There were no desk jobs, no office work, and no jobs as a model for a woman to pursue. So if a woman made a poor choice of mate or got herself pregnant with some clown's child, decided to stay single, or just had the poor fortune of her husband dying, then her financial prospects dropped significantly and immediately, along with her chances of living. This harsh reality acted as a check on women using their genitals as their power. Making stupid or ill-considered choices with one's sexuality carried immediate and life-altering consequences.
Now, I had to include one of our, in my opinion, and he's a very humble grandmaster teacher in my view. I had to include this in here because, see, with everything that we're talking about here tonight, I thought it'd be put into proper context with one of our most thorough members of the New Black Media breaking down some facts. And salute to Brother Project Leroy for the cash out. But see, as this further goes along, in case those of you missed this moment of truth that he brought up with this particular subject, he's going to get into some facts here that tie into everything that I was talking about earlier. And again, if you are a young sister and you're not subscribed to Professor Black Truth's channel, you need to be. Young men and young black women over here, anybody over here, if you subscribe to me, you should definitely be subscribed to our good brother, Professor Black Truth. But I'm going to let him finish breaking down these statistics and reports that he's going to go through, particularly talking about relationships, marriage, and finance, okay? This is going to be very educational for a lot of people. And look, let me be clear on this before I let this continue. Let me say this particularly to the young sisters out here, okay? Young people in general, but especially young sisters. There is no shame in being corrected if you're wrong or if you don't know something. See, y'all, a lot of y'all like to use the term boss B and all these different types of terms or whatever. The way you become a boss is by correcting your mistakes. So all of us have had to do it. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm the first person. If I don't know something, I'll say I don't know. Then I will seek out a source of knowledge or a teacher that can teach me what I do not know, even at the age I am now. See, this is what you call refinement so that you become better, okay? And for each black person, that becomes better as far as our refinement and knowledge, our skill set, our understanding, our way of solving problems. That makes it better for the whole when we're working together. You see what I'm saying? See, we need black men and black women. So I know we've had a bit of fun over here tonight, but the reason why I bring this information to you over here is so that you can see the mistakes, you can think about it, make your own choices. And if you want to be one of the ones that works with those of us who are on code to get things done, then you have the tools you need to pick that up and work with like-minded people. So that's why I'm bringing this to you here tonight. Let's let our good brother continue with his education here.
This is how it was for all of human history up until a little over a century ago. This is why female culture was geared around women making themselves acceptable to a husband by practicing submissiveness, maturity, chastity, temperance, things like that. Women who tried to be party girls wound up living lives that were poor, harsh, and oftentimes short. It's important for us to understand that women who try to use sex as their power are weak. Sex power is easy power because you don't have to do anything to acquire it. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You simply got it just because. However, it's also temporary power too. It's power for women who lack the initiative or the character to cultivate any skills. Up until the modern age, any woman who tried to use sex as her power relegated herself to the level of a harlot, and that meant they wound up like the poor old widow. Sure, when your reputation takes a hit and no man looks at you as wife material, you can go ahead and do something strange for some change while you're young. But that game runs out because everything that used to wiggle and jiggle inevitably will start sagging and dragging, and when that day comes, you go from bartering your booty to begging for money. For all of human civilization up until very recently, when a woman was living wrong, she suffered immediate consequences for those poor choices. I repeat that because this cushy, largely consequence-free existence is all that most women have ever known, and you need to be reminded this has been the exception, not the rule. Everything changed with the Industrial Revolution, at least for women in the Western world. When women were able to enter the workforce in appreciable numbers, they had a chance to earn income because they were finally a plethora of paying jobs that didn't involve muscle power, mud, or math.
Now, I want to pause this and add to something that our good brother just elocuted so very distinctly here. Let me add this to this, right? Listen to what he was saying. And let's deal with the subject of OnlyFans for a minute. We're going to divide this between black society and the dominant society. The reason why you young sisters had better really be sure if that's what you want to do and you hopping on OnlyFans, these corporations, all this media entertainment, they promote everything negative to the collective of black society's image. They encourage us to ruin our reputations. Even more so when it comes to our young black women. So now if you're on OnlyFans, remember your reputation is permanently tied to that. The internet is forever. The difference between you and Becky being on OnlyFans, Becky is in a system of white supremacy where she can reform her image and her people will make excuses for what she did. You don't have that safety net. Do you understand me? I know. A lot of y'all don't like to hear that. I'm just giving you some food for thought. What I'm saying to you is, before you do that, try to acquire a real skill. Something that doesn't just require you jumping up there, taking your clothes off and ruining your reputation and your eligibility in the eyes of men who are decent. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, if you don't care nothing about that, disregard everything I just said. I'm just pointing out the primary difference. You can't recover your reputation like the white women in America are able to do. If you think I'm lying about that, y'all talk about Kim Kardashian. A lot of the younger girls idolize her, but see, the difference is she can go from turbo thought and sex tapes everywhere and then reform her image and be called a humanitarian. Look at all of them. Angelina Jolie, y'all can name after name. Pamela Anderson, we see what happened to her, boy. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna even go there, boy. She got a C, and I ain't talking about vitamin C either. So what I'm saying is they have safety nets that you don't regarding their reputations, okay? Just think about that before all of you jump on there and consider that as a way to make money. There's too many different ways to make money that you don't have to take your clothes off today, okay? So I'm just throwing that in there. Let's let our good brother continue with the lesson.
As a result, the immediate financial consequences that went along with whorehouse behavior were greatly reduced. Sure, they wouldn't live like a queen, but at least they no longer had to fear the fate of the pitiful widow. The reason that men were so easily able to set societal norms is because there were immediate consequences that went along with breaking those norms. Those consequences were the natural order. But that had changed. Now, no woman had to fear what had historically been the worst and most immediate consequences for such behavior. And then in the 1960s, there was a social movement geared around making this degradation an honorable thing. And this has set the frame for what we loosely call womanhood on the few occasions that the word is mentioned. Now, there's something that needs to be understood about sex as a woman's power. That's the female equivalent of a man who tries to use violence as his power. A man who tries to use sex as his power usually winds up in prison or some spineless male concubine. Men don't have the ability to do that. Women who try to use violence as their power wind up in a hospital or worse. Women who try to reach for sex as their power show themselves as weak, the same as a man who tries to reach for violence as his. A strong woman disciplines herself. She brings her emotional impulses under control. A strong woman understands that she has to utterly subdue her caprice, because a woman who doesn't control herself tends to seek out men who will accept a loose woman like that. A disciplined man, however, won't. A weak woman seeks out some Pookie or Ray Ray because she can control him. He'll be dependent on her. A weak woman makes every mistake imaginable, then claims that there's no good men out there, when the reality is she failed to make herself worthy of a good man and refuses to take responsibility for that.
Now, you heard what he just stated. Now tell me if that doesn't apply to Mattress K. Williams' entire situation. See, family, I'm going to say it again. Time is the great revealer of all things. All you have to do is just sit back and look at all these chicks that make all these statements. Oh, no good black men, this, that, the third. That is a bold-faced lie. because many of them, especially if they are fairly attractive, they've had several men come their way that were worthy of them. They turned them down because, one, they knew, this guy got his stuff together. There's going to be some standards with this. I can't just do whatever I want to do, not knowing that that is the goal that you should seek. A dude that's qualified to lead you with experience, compassion, and he's going to make sure that he runs everything how it's supposed to run, and he's got problem-solving ability, not just for you and him, but he has that to instill in the children that you may have one day in the confines of a family and a marriage. But see, that's just too much like right for Mattress K. Williams, hence why each man that she's dealt with, and she said she dealt with them all, none of them put a ring on her finger. I'm just saying, let's let it continue.
Many of the female dating gurus fall in that category. A strong woman understands that character must come first. When dealing with any man, her first consideration is whether or not he's a good person. A strong woman will naturally look for character first. She's attracted to it because she is a person of character herself. There's no substitute for that. As a community, we require our womanhood, but too many people have found it convenient to dismiss this part of the subject. We need to have an ongoing and persistent conversation regarding the responsibilities of womanhood. Black women need to be pushing this particular dialogue amongst themselves because that's where it's going to be the most effective. Now, we know that a lot of black women shy away from that because this is not a popular subject to raise. Why? This reluctance is largely rooted in the dynamics of female group behavior. Women as a group tend to be conformists. This is the reason why when they get together, you notice that they follow the same hair trends, makeup trends, fashion trends, etc. Conformity can be useful in moderation, but when it comes to a situation that's bad and getting worse, conformity becomes a suicide pact. Weak black women know that when you start talking about character, that's something that basically eliminates them from the conversation, so they don't want anyone bringing up the issue at all. The society has allowed this fallacy that women's only problem are the men in their lives. This is a white media fantasy. It's not true at all. But for the last almost 80 years, we've seen it pushed nonstop through the television shows, movies, oftentimes books and magazines, politicians, and even from the pulpits. This endless repetition of white media propaganda has conditioned many black women to automatically blame the man in their lives or to blame black men for not being around. Remember when racist Lena Dunham lied about Odell Beckham Jr.? She lied through her teeth and claimed that she felt so degraded and dehumanized because he didn't look at her. Not because of something he did, but because he didn't do something. She went on this BS-laden rant with all these asinine remarks about how she could tell what he was thinking. Apparently, this empty-headed gerbil is a telepath, saying stuff like, he was like, that's a marshmallow, that's not shaped like a woman, etc. She said all that about a black man who literally didn't say a word to her and didn't even look in her direction. Now, I'm sure that we can all agree that Lena Dunham is a weak, racist dog. But she does mirror weak women in the way that instead of looking at herself and getting herself in shape, taking care of her appearance, make herself acceptable to a man, try working on her social skills. Instead, she tries to play the victim because she doesn't want to have to do the work of improving herself. That is the hallmark of a weak woman. Lena Dunham is the antithesis of womanhood, just like Lizzo and Cardi B. But how do you tell women that WAP is the opposite of womanhood in this social climate? What constitutes womanhood in the society has tragically not been solidly defined. It certainly hasn't been deeply ingrained. It's been more a generalized set of principles and ideas, a loosely worded concept. Naturally, we've had a lot of bad actors who have taken full advantage of that. The things that the white media and the bottom-feeding bootlicks and hood rats have tried to tell us constitutes womanhood is merely poison, which too many people have chosen to take. And it gets worse when you have black men who have no excuse for not knowing better, who reinforce this poison. Be very careful who you take advice from. What tickles your ears can wind up kicking your behind. A weak woman simply cannot judge a man by how he behaves towards women. A black man who claims to have it all together but spends most of his time pushing a dialogue of cupcaking, that's not masculinity. That's at best, or rather worst, 6-figure or 7-figure simping.
Now, think about what he just said right here, because we've seen examples of that. See, The men that truly hate you are the ones that see when you're clearly wrong about something. And then they don't even try to acknowledge or address the problem and point that out so that you can course correct. Those would be your Derek Jacksons, your Ace Metaphors, so on and so forth. We've seen all these goofy panderers. They hate women because, see, when you don't tell somebody what's wrong, it's similar to like if you're going out somewhere and say you got bad breath and nobody tells you. Then they just stand around laughing at you while you running everybody's face with bad breath. The people that really look out for you, they're going to tell you got an issue. They're going to throw you some breath spray, some candy, something. Hey, a miniature toothbrush so you can brush your teeth. My point is this. People are not going to ignore your flaws if they care about you. And see, let me make sure I say this with balance and responsibility. My brothers, when you are correcting the sisters and they do listen and they accept your correction or correct themselves, rather, when you point something out, make sure that you're mature enough and man enough not to just rub something in their faces, because it's very hard for women in general to admit when they're wrong. That's just the truth, okay? That's just the truth. So when they do admit that, let me tell you why you can't act like a child like that. This should go without saying, but I'm just making sure I cover this from all bases. You want to make sure that you are not picking on them about it, because it's already something that's hard for them to do. And then by her admitting that, she's showing respect for you, and she's saying, you know what? I trust you enough to listen to what you say. Let me try to work on this. Let's get this right so that we can be a strong team together. You see what I'm saying? Because see, the goal is to win together. If that's what you're trying to do, okay? So there's that, all right? Keep that in mind, young brothers. But that's it. Let's let our brother here continue with this lesson, because he's really about to break some things down here in a minute.
A man like that tends to abuse women the first time things don't go his way. They abuse women emotionally, sexually, psychologically, and even physically. A strong woman takes responsibility for not putting herself in a position like that. A strong woman recognizes a respect-worthy man, and she reciprocates that respect because she understands the male principle and she genuinely values it. A number of fraudulent talking points get kicked around on this subject, and some of them have taken root. Well, call me the weed man, because I'm going to rip these lies out of the ground. One lie that gets spouted far too often is that rich people don't get divorced anywhere near as much as poorer people. This particular talking point has been said so much, even in places like this, that it's become axiomatic. It doesn't even get questioned. And that's a shame, because one of the things I've always taught you is to never take things you hear at face value. What are the main reasons given for divorce? Do you know? According to the National Institute of Health's website, their study shows that the number one reason was lack of commitment, followed by extramarital affairs. Well, it makes sense that that would rate very high on the list of reasons for divorce. After all, we live in the age of hooking up. Too much conflict and arguing. You can attribute that to people who insist on having it all their own way, who can't compromise on anything. But it can also mean that they argue about things like their partner cheating on them or finances. In my opinion, that's a phrase that's a little bit too vague to be useful, but we'll move on. Next is getting married too young. That's number 4. And financial problems is number 5. That's important because we've been conditioned to think that financial problems is the number one reason for divorce. But it's actually not. Now, around these parts, we place a big emphasis on resources because that's how we're being oppressed. But when it comes to marriage, it's a lie to say that finances are the main thing that breaks marriages apart. Oh, but they were arguing about finances! That's what the lazy-brained will try to say. And why are their finances in disarray, Mr. Expert? Perhaps because the wife has a drug habit, or spends too much of the family's money, the old retail therapy, or perhaps the husband likes to gamble the money away or splurge on things he doesn't really need. It's a minority of marriages that break up because one spouse got up one day, felt that they're not making enough money, and it's usually the woman who jumps ship, looking for a spouse who hopefully makes more money. Couples almost never argue about not making enough money. Usually the argument's about what are we going to do about it. That's where the disagreements come in until eventually the relationship can't take the stress. 85% of the time their arguments are about what's being done with or not being done with the money they're making. Arguments about finances are always arguments about one spouse or the other's lifestyle choices. One spouse accusing the other of spending too much or refusing to spend the money in this or that manner. It's usually an inability to agree on what ought to be done with their earnings. And it is this unwillingness to compromise or change those lifestyle choices that eventually leads to the divorce. I know this is a very different conversation than the discourse you're used to hearing from the usual quarters, but this is what happens when you actually dig for the information. And you know I'm right. We're told that the most cited reason for divorce is financial issues, but I've now shown you that's not true. With a shrinking economy, stagnant wages, and the national wealth being maldistributed to the upper 1%, the stress of making ends meet will be most acute for the people with the least resources, and that will put pressure on the relationship, certainly. But again, every marital argument about money is actually about some underlying antagonism. I guess it's simply too complex for some experts to figure out that correlation doesn't equal causation. Lower income couples do get divorced more often, but they're also much more likely to also have the other more commonly cited traits of people who get divorced, mainly that they got married very young. What other factors are at play other than their income bracket? As it turns out, plenty. Forbes ran a story back in 2021 about the divorce rate among the 50 richest people in the United States. And what they found is that the divorce rate among these ultra-billionaires is 49%, which is higher than the national average, which is between 40 and 50%. So you have a conservative publication saying that once you get above the upper middle class, the divorce rates fall in line with the less affluent lower rungs of the income ladder. Well, there's something the ultra-rich and the working poor have in common after all. Financial success seems to improve your odds of marital success until you reach the upper echelons. Then your marriage success plummets. Do the people who tell you that the more money you make, the less likely you are to divorce ever point this out? Probably not. Have they even bothered to look? Probably not. Poorer people tend to have lower education. They're also more impulsive. They get married earlier, in large part because they weren't in college or in trade school after they left high school, and due to their lack of maturity, they're more likely to get divorced.
Now, let me pause it and point something out because, see, you think back to the statements that Mattress K. Williams made. Now, I guarantee you that if she was confronted with this information, oh boy, it would be priceless to see her have a conversation with Professor Black Truth. Oh boy, you talking about people would pay money to see that. But see, family, this type of information right here, this is beyond her because, see, again, and I'm being serious when I say this. For all her degrees, for her career, Ebony K. Williams is a very immature woman. She really is. Because, see, she's not even considering any of this, because this is the truth. You can look this information up. You see it on your screen. Okay? So now, when you take into account all this stuff, all these stats that we're going over right here, most of the people in a marriage, if you choose to be with each other and you really want to make that work, like Professor Black Truth said, you having financial issues, you're going to figure out what to do about it together. Now, let's deal with this part right here, too. You heard what he was saying, and we can see what's being done in this economy here, thanks to Jim Crow Joe and these Democrats. I won't even go there. But in this economy, you would think that a woman with any kind of sense would be glad to have a man that's gainfully employed. You see what I'm saying? Instead of trying to just get at the top of the ladder, because, see, the higher that you try to go, this is what a lot of those women like Ebony K. Williams don't understand, and she should understand it. The higher that you go up that ladder, the competition get even stiffer. These guys have options you can't even imagine. So chances are you're not going to be the main chick. And I know she know that by now because that's why I keep calling her Mattress K. Williams. She know what her life is. She can get on the Breakfast Club and put on that front all she want to. At the end of the day, when she go home in her house by herself, she know what the business is. You understand? So I just wanted to point that out while he's detailing this information because, see, y'all finna learn a lot tonight. And see, for young men and young women, take information like this, study it, and when you get ready to make your choices about who you're dealing with out here, think about these types of things. See, that's what responsible adults do. You don't go by your feelings. You don't go out by what your friends tell you, especially if they're doing worse than you. You sit down and make adult decisions for yourself off of credible information. And then you try to pick the best character of a person that you're dealing with, and y'all go forward and make something happen together, okay? See, this is what we try to encourage you to do over here, okay? So we're going to let this continue because, like I said, he's not done breaking this down yet. Let's let him continue.
The point is that there's plenty of factors that go into divorce other than having to do with one's W-2 forms. Personality conflicts are a far higher factor in divorce than finances. I guess I had to go around the world like that simply to make the point that character does matter and needs to come first. But then again, a strong black woman already understands that. See, to hear it from some people, the conversation about relationships revolves entirely around fancy dinners and vacations. There's nothing wrong with either one of those things by themselves, but tell me, is the foundation for a marriage based on that? Is that the bedrock that a marriage rests on, fancy dinners and vacations? No. So why is it that some of the people we hear talking never talk about what a successful marriage is based on? Perhaps because they don't know or don't care. That's fine for them, but should you take advice from people who focus only on what a marriage isn't about while totally ignoring what it is based on? I know that there's a number of dating gurus and other would-be advisors who try to give out that kind of hog spit, but you need to dismiss it. Anyone who tries to convince you that the fancy dinners and vacation spiel is somehow practicing for marriage, they're actually doing nothing but helping you practice for a divorce. They only say that because they're trying to make women weak by catering to their lower instincts. But over here in the House of Truth, we don't do that. If a man is focusing on maximizing his income, he's going to have to work a lot of hours. That's what maximum income requires. He won't have time for fancy dinners, and he'll only have limited time for vacations because those things all take him away from his mission. And is his mission the same one you're on? For a strong black woman, the answer is absolutely. But for a weak black woman, the answer would be maybe. A strong black woman doesn't try to base her relationship on eating out. A large part of what cements your womanhood is making sure that your husband and children have home-cooked meals. Home cooking is a key part of being a strong woman, and before you discount that, consider this. Why is there a child obesity crisis in the United States? It's because for the last 30 years, mothers have been feeding their children from processed foods at the grocery store or from the drive-in. A strong woman understands that a child is supposed to be fed by their mother, not McDonald's.
He's absolutely correct. And see, this is why it is so important, especially the brothers like myself from the South, that, hey, look, if you're going to deal with us, you got to know how to cook. Because most men down here in the South can cook, okay? And it's a health issue. A woman is supposed to take pride in making sure that she provides the healthy sustenance for the entire family that's up under that roof. See, I'm going to tell y'all something else. A lot of people may say he makes controversial statements, but I'm going to tell you, Corey Holcomb said something that rings true. One of the realest statements I've ever heard that brother make, even though he's a comedian. This brother said that he was talking to somebody and they gave him this bit of wisdom right here, and I have to agree with it. He said that a woman's kitchen is supposed to be the hospital of that household. Say it again. He said a woman's kitchen is supposed to be the hospital of that household. When you think back, especially for those of us that actually had the privilege of knowing our great-grandparents, you had people, mothers that grew up in the household you that cook for you. Those of us that understand what it's like to get together at family dinners where the women actually believe in cooking, we understand the importance of that. Today, that's becoming lost on frivolous foolishness, going out to eat, fast food restaurants, and all these different. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with going out every now and again, but that's not supposed to be an everyday thing. You damn sure don't want your children coming up off of no fast food. I couldn't even imagine growing up like that. I couldn't, man. My mother always made sure that she cooked, okay? These are the things that are valuable to men as far as considering women to marry, okay? The men with some sense. Let me make sure I say that. So I'm going to let the professor get back to it because, see, I had to include this in here tonight. I gave my thoughts on it, but I wanted to provide this information to put a cap on everything. Let's let the professor continue.
And the same goes for your husband. A strong woman can handle selecting food from the produce section and not the aisles. And she's also strong enough to handle food prep, and she knows how to properly cook the food her family eats. Cat Williams, the comedian, talked about how he has a very large family, and that oftentimes he's the one who prepares meals for his children, which includes a number of daughters, each with their own different eating habits. Now, if a comedian who spends much of his time away from home can do it, then a strong black woman certainly can too. The most meaningful meals you're going to have will be at home, not at the Red Lobster. A weak woman doesn't know how to cook because she never learned how to take care of herself. A strong black woman, however, savors the smell of food cooking in her house because that's a key part of making a house a home, and that's what cements her womanhood. Sugar babies, Barbies, or boss bees can't be homemakers. If a woman can't be bothered to prepare meals for her man, then she's a liar if she claims she's able to satisfy him in any other way. See, the fancy dinners and vacation spiel is how I expect a child to talk, or an adolescent who's never been married. And you have black people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and olders who give this advice to black women to go in this direction, and they'll even tell black men that this is something we ought to pursue. Recognize when you're getting bad advice. I just wish this type of bad advice was limited to Steve Harvey, but it's not. It infects the internet and everybody is there. Remember what I said a few days ago about how the conservative movement has used right-wing hate radio and Fox News to feed their base political red meat? Well, the same dynamic goes for relationship advice. The people who peddle this poison cater to a largely female audience and feed them their own version of red meat. A strong woman won't let a Pied Piper appeal to her most immature instincts. A strong woman understands that a man's purpose is not to spoil her, it's to lead her. And he does this with character, intelligence, and resources. A strong black woman doesn't want to be spoiled because she knows that something that's been spoiled is good for absolutely nothing. A mature adult woman wants to be treated, but she doesn't want to be spoiled. Too many times we've had black women fall for the siren song of these online dating gurus and taking relationship advice from dating books. The purpose of these books and these gurus is to sell copies of their material. That's how they make their money. They're not going to tell you anything that they think is going to make you less inclined to buy their book or to buy their online course or what have you, so they lie. They tell you that a relationship is about you getting gifts from a man, and this deranges women's expectations to the point that now women think if they get dinner, they've had a successful relationship. That's how low the bar has become. It's not about companionship. It's about what did I get him to give me for free. Now, the 6- and 7-figure simps will play right along with that because that's the only way that they can get the time of day from a woman, and weak women will go for that. But a strong black woman won't. The main reason why marriages fail is that at least one of the parties involved had no understanding of what a marriage is. Marriage is not a lifelong date. It's not about being spoiled or living some faux idle rich lifestyle. A husband is not a sugar daddy. If you think he is, or that he ought to be, then do you really want to be a wife, or do you just want to be a sugar baby? If you're a sugar baby, then you can't complain when he treats you like one. No man commits to a sugar baby. You have to.
And I'm going to add this to what our good brother here is saying. If you want to be a sugar baby, then don't be surprised when your teeth fall out your mouth, because we all know that if you sit up eating a bunch of candy, sooner or later you're going to develop cavities. And that's exactly what that type of lifestyle does to you as a woman. It destroys you. See, this goes into what I was saying, that men are worth more than just our finances. We bring a lot more to the table. And I'm going to add this as well. A lot of people want a wedding. Oh, a wedding is like a big party. Oh, yeah, that's fun. All the fanfare, everything. Okay, yeah, cool, great. That's different from a marriage. The marriage actually has roles for both people, and you must perform those roles up to the best of your ability in order to have a successful marriage, okay? See, a lot of people don't sit down and discuss this, though. It's too much like right. Everybody's just moving off how they feel in the moment. Well, when you're making lifetime decisions, that's not often the most wise thing to do. Okay, so we're going to let our brother continue breaking this down because, like I said, man, when I present a case or something, I try to give you strong food for thought from several different sources. And this is one of the best sources online right here. Let's let him continue.
Be a wife to get commitment. And only a strong black woman can be a wife. A weak, immature little girl can only be a sugar baby. A woman like that is basically a second child. The man may not necessarily divorce her, but he won't respect her either. A weak black woman makes her marriage decisions based on whether or not the guy gives her a tingle south of her personal equator. A strong black woman, on the other hand, decides whether to marry someone based on, first of all, what kind of character does he have? Has this man established anything for himself come second, or is he clearly in the process of doing so? If he's got nothing going, then this is not going to be a good fit. Unfortunately, for most black women, that's not the conversation that actually takes place. The decision is usually made most times according to their circle of gal pals, who, by the way, are usually all single or happily divorced. A strong black woman is mature. She knows right from wrong. She knows what's in her best interest, and she makes her decisions based on that, not based on what's going to get a giggle or an approving smile from her single girlfriends. The peer group has been arguably the most poisonous and disastrous thing in most women's lives. Too many women dress based on what their friends think. They make decisions based on what their friends think, and they choose who they date or marry, or who they decide not to date or marry based on what their friends think. Be honest, sisters, how many of you consciously threw away the best man that came into your life, mainly because you had one eye on him, but you had another eye and both of your ears on what your gal pals were thinking? A few weeks ago, we talked about Jonathan Majors and John Morant and how black men need to control who they let in their circle. Well, this advice goes double for black women. A strong black woman understands that as her life changes, her circle must change also. The same way you shouldn't be around a man who isn't building, you also shouldn't be around other females who aren't building families either. Sisters, men and women both have things we need to work on. That's just a fact. But we have to be honest about how society has developed the last 100 years. We spent far too much time talking only about the male side of the ledger. And this overemphasis on what black men need to work on has created the total misimpression that apparently black women must be okay, otherwise people would be saying something. But I'm sorry to tell you, sisters, that's not the case. And because the female side of the ledger has gone unexamined for so long, it comes as a shock when someone actually says, well, let's take a look at it. Many black women will be able to handle the reality, but others are going to predictably react with denial or disbelief. Oh, you must be a misogynist or whatever, because no one has said anything up until now. Actually, black men have been saying something, but we've had a malicious white media who has attacked those who speak up or silenced them altogether. And we've even had those who, unintentionally or not, have contributed to the problem. I know this is jarring to finally come to this discussion, but we're going to have it sooner or later so we can proceed forward together. As the leaders of our group, black men are the ones who set the standard for acceptable manhood and acceptable womanhood. The leader sets the standard for his group because he's the one who's charged with the duty of getting that group to where they need to go. Now, I'm sure that every black woman in the sound of my voice will agree that black manhood cannot and must not be just any old thing. That it cannot be left to every single black man to decide for himself what he thinks constitutes manhood. There must be some sort of standard, and that standard has to have an enforcement mechanism behind it. The problem is that's exactly what womanhood has come to mean. Every woman gets to decide for herself what she thinks it means, and that definition is almost always something that doesn't require responsibility. It requires no accountability. You don't have to do anything. Well, under that standard, the first thing that goes out the window is character. What we've seen for decades now has been the lowest common denominator dragging all women down to their level. The meaning of womanhood has been left undefined for so long that it has no meaning now. We don't even mention it. Out of sight, out of mind. Now, that's fine for the bushikas and the arrogant type of black females that we see usually in government, but it also makes it where the essential bonds that black men and black women need in order to operate together have been seriously weakened. This has to change. Ladies, to turn this situation around, you have to embrace and promote a definition of womanhood that requires women to do things to qualify for it. That's how you raise the standard. We have to jettison the white media's childish and immature definition that womanhood is based on how much you can get a man to spend on you. That's good for corporations because that helps their bottom line, and that's the point of them promoting it. But it's horrible for relationships. What's also been equally catastrophic is the feminist assertion that womanhood is based exclusively on how much a woman fights with or defies her man because that's how she proves her independence. Feminist hood rats and other bad actors will often say, "You just can't handle a strong black woman." Well, a strong black woman is a woman of character and integrity, and she's also a woman who understands the need to cooperate. A strong black woman doesn't need to be handled. She handles herself. And that's not even an issue of womanhood. That's just an issue of adulthood. That's just an issue of basic maturity. Yesterday I told you that a black man who is quarrelsome is not a strong man at all. Well, this goes triple for black women. A black woman who is always making demands, who's always arguing about something, who just can't seem to make it through her day without giving her man a piece of her mind, is a woman not worth being with, because she's weak. Arguing with your man over every little thing is not strength. Children fuss over nothing. Adults only voice their disagreement when it's serious, not simply because they have a different idea. A strong black woman doesn't gossip or backbite, not against her man nor anyone else. Women who make it a habit to talk behind other people's backs are cowards. That's weakness. They also bring conflict and confrontation directly to their own front door, and it's usually the man who has to deal with it. There's a reason why gossiping has always been a near crime in most societies. Whisper campaigns undermine the solidarity that groups need in order to function. Weak women think it's cute to act like that. But most of all, a strong black woman knows how to cooperate, how to follow instructions and can be counted on to carry out her tasks. Effective soldiers are what wins wars. We need you to be at your best so we can be at ours. A man's strength is largely external, and it's based on how much he can influence his surroundings, to make them a product of his own will and effort. A woman's strength, however, is internal. It's not about controlling her environment, it's about controlling herself. She controls her actions and her words. She controls who she allows herself to be influenced by, personally and in every other way. The last 100 years has done a lot of damage to the balance of the natural order of gender relations, and especially to those between black men and women. But I'm convinced that there's nothing we can't fix if enough of us are committed. And regardless of all the white media fantasies that have poisoned the well, or the would-be dating gurus and other wannabe experts who are experts of nothing, I know that black women can shake off the propaganda and return to a basis of interacting with black men based on what will empower us as a community. I think the time is right for womanhood to make a righteous comeback, and not just some weak, vaporous, indistinct kind of idea, but a strongly worded, firmly defined standard. I think that we're nearing that point when a critical mass of black women will make it clear that they're turning their backs on the last 100-year experiment in licentiousness. I think we will see a large number of black women show the world that they don't respect weakness. They only respect strength, starting with strength in themselves.
So there you have it, family. I couldn't have stated that better myself. And see, this is why I added this at the end of tonight's presentation, because see, the Ebony K. Williams, or as I call her, the mattress K. Williams out there, with that mindset that they have, they are a weakness to the collective of black society as far as being the proper representation of womanhood, just like any man that's running around that wants to do their best Billy Porter impersonation and run around here co-signing everything that is a detriment to our group is not the proper representation of manhood, okay? See, I'm going to close this broadcast with this tonight. I've said this many times before, so I'm going to say it again. When it comes to our women, consider yourselves the technicians on this battlefield, because they've declared war on us in black society today. You're the technicians that keep the tank operating, so you should take pride in cooking. You should take pride in being a good nurturer, okay? You're the first teachers of our children. We all know these things, okay? Consider your position more technical. For us as the men, we're the battle tanks. We go out there and hit these front lines and do what we're supposed to do as men. When we come into home base, your first priority should be to make sure that your tank is in good operating condition. That's a strong team, and that's how we win this war that we are in here today, okay? So I brought this presentation to you tonight to show you that those statements that she made are not cute. Any women that's out there co-signing that, and again, salute to the sisters that was pushing back on that, because I saw plenty of them doing it. The women are going to have to check them. And then as far as us as men, we'll check the off-code men, because, see, we can't afford to be playing. We have great things to accomplish together, ladies and gentlemen, which is why I often end this broadcast with the Eretusase sign, which means arise. And you know what language that is. If you don't, that means you're probably not a part of our tribe. So with that said, I hope everybody got something very edifying from this, and you will apply this information I'm going to see you all in future content. Salute to you, Black First, and pay attention because we're going to be dealing with Miss Ann, a.k.a. Burly Pearly, very soon. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all in future content.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tariq Nasheed, and I'm inviting you to the Foundational Black American Expo going down May 27th, 2023, right here in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's going down at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and this is an empowerment event that you can invite the whole family to. We're going to have seminars and workshops that discuss things like business development, education, health and wellness, self-defense, and some of you businesses out there, we have vending opportunities where you can promote your businesses. Plus, we're going to have so many phenomenal speakers and guests. We got people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's coming down, Professor James Small, Sister Vicky Dillard, Riza Islam, Dr. Kaba Kamene, Ben X, Jahudi Mayad Ra, Erica Lachey, Red Pill, Blue Pill, so many people. So, get your tickets now at FBAExpo.com. That's FBAExpo.com. We will see you here.